After Dark show for July 28, 2024. We're going to be looking at the Week 1 DraftKings salaries. The DraftKings just released their Week 1 salaries. I think it was last night. So we're going to look at it. And I got a free ticket to enter a $5 contest. So we're going to enter a lineup in. So looking forward to that. Also, going to be talking about some other stuff like the Jordan Love signing, Tua Tagovailoa signing, and maybe getting into the Olympics. They say satanic stuff that they did. So we're going to be talking about that and much more. So before we intro the guest, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As you can see on the screen, we have a bunch of t-shirts here, $16 to $18. I feel like a lot of it's a steal, including August is Gluttony Month. So in about 36 minutes, it's going to be July 28th. So that means in 4 days it'll be the first. So you'll have to wear this Gluttony Month t-shirt to kind of show everyone that gluttony rights are human rights. It's a very important message, and it is it's trending. Look at this. This item is trending. 49 people have viewed this design. $18.40. Let's go. August is upon us, so make sure you get your Gluttony Month t-shirt. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. We had a donut on what was it, Tuesday, I think. And so we only had like 51 cents or 61 cents. So, any continued support would be great. John Sanders and Slew helped us rebound after that. So, and like we make nothing off these YouTube ads. So please consider that. Kevin Kovac beforehand, German Degeneron. Like you guys have been so helpful in contributing to the show. So any future contributions would be really appreciated. Also, you can support the show by going to Amazon and buying my book, Jerks of the College Years. So if you like Jerks of the Week, which is on my site, it's a section where I make fun of people I see at the gym or the grocery store or whatever. This is the same thing, just from my college years. I spent 6 years at Penn State, so I had 6 jerks here that I made fun of, as Tom could vouch. There are a lot of weirdos that we met at Penn State. So speaking of Tom, he's our co-host for tonight. Tom Quacky T, how's it going?
How's it going, Walt? Here we are again. I don't know, you're bringing up the Olympics. I don't even know what you're referring to about the satanic rituals. I don't really watch the Olympics ever. But I don't know. I just never really got excited about it. And it's not because I'm not patriotic or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just usually not like a whole lot of sports that interest me. I mean, I guess like the Dream Team basketball was really cool in its heyday, of course, and the subsequent teams after that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't know. It's not. Now it's changed now, like because basketball has really expanded internationally. But like back in 1992, like was it really, like how much fun could that really be to watch? They're beating teams by like 70. They're not gonna lose.
Well,
so I don't know. I just never got that much enjoyment out of it, I guess.
I mean, I still thought that was fun, just watching those guys, this 12 guys outside of Leitner. If you take the 11 other guys, like the 11 of the most greatest or the greatest basketball players in that generation, and like they're in. I think all of them were in the NBA top 50 that they came up with, the top 50 list that they came up for their 50th anniversary. It was just incredible to watch. I know they didn't have much competition, but it was still so much fun to see them on the court at the same time.
Oh, definitely. And hey, put respect on Christian Laettner's name. I argue he's the best college player of all time. Ralph Sampson. Sure. Maybe Ralph Sampson.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely up there, but obviously he didn't really pan out that well in the NBA. Like they could have taken Shaq and been so much better. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I definitely think that Laettner was the better college player. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I was. Go ahead.
It was still kind of a joke. Like they could have taken another NBA player like Isaiah Thomas or something, and just been more legitimate. I mean, obviously they didn't need Isaiah Thomas. They still crushed everyone. But
they didn't want him either. So
yeah, right.
Between like Larry Bird and like Pippen and Jordan, like they none of them liked him. So
yeah, you could have gotten like Sean Kemp or something, or like there are other superstars they could have gotten as well. So.
Well, hold on, Sean Kemp. I mean, I love Sean Kemp, but I'm surprised you think that would be like your next choice.
I mean, who else would it be? I was just throwing.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I
don't know. That's not.
I mean, he was great. He was a great player back then. I mean, yeah, you had Kemp and Peyton on the same team.
Yeah,
you already had Magic and John Stockton, and I don't know.
It's like when like Michael Jordan, like before the '98 season, Jordan and the Bulls played against. They did like an international tournament in France, and like Pippen and Rodman, neither of them were there, and like the Bulls still won the tournament over like these French teams. Like it was no contest. It's Michael Jordan. And it's like, how did they organize that? Be like, hey, do you guys want to play on a basketball team that gets their asses kicked by Michael Jordan? Like, yeah, okay, right. That sounds good. I'd do it.
Yeah.
Like you experienced something like that time. What was the score? 68-10.
Oh, no. 69-10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We got matched up. I played basically a pickup league, and we got tossed into this. There's like an A league and a B league. We got tossed in the A league because there were like odd number teams, and so like the A league was like former Villanova and Drexel Temple players, and like we were just like it's just regular dudes, and we had one guy who's 6'3", who's our center, and like on the other team, like their shortest guy was like 6'2" or 6'3", so like we just had no chance. Like these people were just insane, and like it was 8-6 at one point. We're like, oh wow, we're keeping up. 69-10. So
that's like so much more insulting too. Like it was like a tease in the beginning. Like wow, like what if a miracle happens on this court today, on this YMCA, this Eastern Pennsylvania YMCA court, a miracle happened. Like
then the next week we lost 79-20, so it's the same margin, but we got to 20 at least. We actually had my friend who's Omnifral. He's been a co-host on the show a few times. He was on that team. He used to be a film major in college.
Oh wow.
And so one of his classmates was doing a documentary about, like, they had to do a documentary about sports or something, so they were doing a documentary about us. And like in the documentary, the person's like, they set basketball back 50 years.
Dude, I don't think I've heard of such. I mean, I'm sure it exists, but like I've heard of such a wide margin in any organized game. That's been reported to me, at least. I know that it's happened.
I mean, you got guys who played in the NCAA tournament, and I'm like 5'9". Like what am I going to do against these guys? Like their guards are 6 foot. Like
what if though somehow like you just showed up and you were like stroking it, man? Like everything, like you don't think there's any chance?
No, I mean no, there's no chance. Like they're just blocking every shot. It was ridiculous.
Oh man, but I don't know. Like what if you had like a couple? Never mind. Let's move on.
I did score 18 points in one game in that league.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like our top scorers were out. Like I don't know where they were. Like our top scorer was like this pothead. He would like get super tired in the second half, but like he just wouldn't pass the ball, and but like he would score like 25 points, but he would take so many shots. But it was so annoying. He's like one of those guys, like if you pass them, like you'd never see the ball ever again. But he was like the brother of a friend that we had, so he was kind of tagging along. But anyway, he was out one game, and so was his brother, and so was some other guy who was also a scorer. I was like more of like a 3-and-D guy, but so like there's no one else who was scoring that in that game. So I had like either 16 or 18 in one game. It was kind of nuts. So I'll get to these comments, but he says, I hope Walt's team didn't try to play man-to-man defense against those guys. So no. Listen,
they played the 3-2 zone.
The pothead guy, he had no interest in playing any man-to-man. He's like, no, we got to play zone like all the time. And even like the worst, the other worst teams in that division, we had some close games. Like we lost, like I say close games, like our closest like loss was probably like 12 points, like 12 or 14 points. Yeah, we didn't win. We went like 0-9, but we lost by like 12 or 14. even then, I'm like, these guys, like, we can handle them defensively. Like we should play man to man. He's like, no way. We're gonna get tired. We're gonna lose. I'm like, what do you think you've been doing this whole time? Like, we should just try something different. He's like, no, I don't want to play. I don't play man. It's like, okay. He's just so lazy. He just like,
wow.
He don't want to play man. It was so frustrating.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Who were? Oh, do you want to get? We should get some comments, I guess. Sorry, is that what you're trying to do there?
Yeah. Chris says Walt was actually on the El Salvador women's team against Team USA a few years ago. Final score 114-19. Okay,
is that true? Is that 114-19? Did that really happen?
Wow, that's pretty.
I mean, I probably did. I can't imagine you just pulling that out of nowhere. I guess that's a stupid thing to ask, huh? I guess I'm just saying I've never heard of this. That's a 95 point.
Yeah, it was I'm seeing U16 USA basketball versus El Salvador. So I was under 16, so it wasn't like
okay.
Yeah, so you're playing
but it's still okay. That's at least you don't hold the worst, deficit.
I'll say this, at least the girls on that El Salvador team will be extremely rich in the coming years, because El Salvador's economy is going to be awesome.
Because of Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin, right? Like Bitcoin's up to 68K. That's their currency. Which I don't know if you saw on Twitter today that Greg guy was like, Donald Trump said that he will ditch the US dollar for Bitcoin. Obviously, I mean, he was joking, but I'm like, someone's been listening to the show, because I said if I were governor, I would abandon the U.S. dollar and go to Bitcoin. Anyway, John says, I'd like to thank Chris Greer for making the Dolphins irrelevant for the next 4 years. So he resigned Tua Tagovailoa to a 4-year, $212 million deal, which is a ton of money for a guy who's has a vast injury history. But I get it. I gave it a B grade. I just think that like what are they going to do otherwise? You're going to get rid of Tua and just be bad. Like, you talk about irrelevant. Like, they're not going to even make the playoffs. Now with Tua, they can make the playoffs each year, and if they have better injury luck, they can make a run in the playoffs. I think, like, last year they had so many injured players that just didn't have a chance. It wasn't Tua's fault. Like Tyreek Hill was even injured. He played, but he wasn't 100%, and their entire defense was gone. So they had no chance against Kansas City. So I think that if they had better injury luck, they could make some noise at 1 year, I think they're always going to be live for the Super Bowl.
I think so too. I mean, is that what has really held them? Because I'll be honest, that's not really a team I paid a whole lot of attention to. Like, is it just the injuries you think that held them back? Because remember, like, once they got Tyreek Hill, and like, it seemed like people expected them to go for a deeper. Yeah, I guess 2 years ago he was injured for the playoffs. They had to start their third stringer. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So
2 years ago they started Skylar Thompson.
That's right. And they almost won.
Yeah. They almost beat Buffalo. And then last year it was the opposite. Tua was the only one who was healthy. Everyone else got injured. And they played Kansas City in the first round in Kansas City. It was super cold.
Yeah, it was like negative 50 or something out there.
Yeah, they got blown out, but I think that if they had their primary players on defense, they could have made it a game. Now, maybe they probably still would have lost. Kansas City eventually won the Super Bowl. Like, there's no shame in losing at the Chiefs, but they just weren't competitive because they didn't have anyone who was healthy. So I don't know. I think as long as Tua's there and he's healthy, and most of the rest of the team is healthy, like I think they're going to be relevant. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but like they'll have a chance, I think.
No, I certainly think so too, and they could be, a surprise too in that division, where I guess everyone probably expects, I don't know, like who's the favorite in that division? Is it the Jets or the Bills? Probably the Bills, right?
Yeah, the Bills are slight favorites. We actually did on Thursday. I had Andy on our proxy. Mm-hmm. We did a breakdown of every division in the NFL. We did Super Bowl odds, division odds, and the win totals. So we broke down every team. So. That was the first division we covered, and yeah, the Bills are favored. And then it was like Jets and Dolphins are about the same. So they both had the same win total of 9.5. So, Chris says the original Dream Team is still the only basketball team to win a gold medal with HIV. Very nice. Lewis Sanders is by far the best college basketball player of all time.
Okay.
They had to change the rules to try and stop him. Yes.
Well, You know what's funny, and I think it's a generational thing because I feel like people who are our age, Walt, like I think Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time, but I feel like people that say LeBron is the greatest usually tend to be a little bit younger, maybe didn't, weren't, or like maybe Jordan didn't like play in their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I used to know this guy who's this guy Fred, who's I think he was 82 years old, and he was always like, no, Wilt Chamberlain's the GOAT. And it's, and maybe just because like we're so far removed from it, like generationally, but because they had to change the rules for Wilt Chamberlain too. So like, I think you could definitely make the argument for that, but I don't know, like things change and things evolve. And like, isn't it weird to think like the 3-point line in the NBA was only like 40 years old? That was like the early 80s that started, right?
Yeah, I would never say that Jordan was better than Wilt. I think that's irresponsible to me because I've never seen Wilt play. I've no bearing on how good he was. So like that's an issue. And like all these young people say, "Oh, LeBron's the best." They've never seen Jordan play, so I think it would be the same thing for them. I personally think Kobe was better. Kobe's better than LeBron, or he was better than LeBron is. So like,
really?
and I have Jordan better than Kobe. So I don't know. I think that these young whippersnappers don't know what they're talking about. Actually, I got into an argument with Jason McIntyre, who was he found the big lead, and then I think he's on Fox Sports or something. This guy is so stupid. Like he's like the biggest LeBron guy, and like he's not a young person either. I think he's probably my age or our age. I think he's in his 40s. Anyway, but like he's the biggest LeBron cheerleader, and it's so stupid. It's like I made the comment like he says something like LeBron hit the game-winning shot or something, like that's incredible, better than Jordan would have done or something. I'm like, well, Jordan beat teams by 50 points when he was there. So I know that like LeBron is 39, but Jordan didn't have the HGH that LeBron is actually. So
you know what that makes me think of? Remember the undefeated Patriots in 2007 that lost the Super Bowl, and they did like three different segments or four different segments on like, would the Patriots have beaten like the 85 Bears, and like would the Patriots have beaten like the 78 Steelers or the undefeated Dolphins? And they had Bill Parcells like as like sitting there like freaking Frankie Five Angels, like, and every team he's like, they did like a whole segment like, oh, like what was this team like? Here's how they would have stacked up, and every team he's like, no, the Patriots would have beat them. It's like, get out of my face with this, man. Yeah. This is, I don't know. I think it's, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a weird segment, but I mean, it was such an exciting thing. I mean, milk it for as much as you can, Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand that aspect of it too, of course. But I just always thought that was funny. It's like, I don't know, like how would you know?
I don't know. It's a tough one because on one hand, the athletes are better now, and they have access to more stuff, but then back then there were fewer teams, so it was more condensed, like the talent in the NFL, like per team. So just imagine if you got rid of some teams in the NFL and you put everyone onto some teams, like every team would be better automatically. So it's a tough call. I don't know how you gauge that. I really don't. John says Christian Laettner grew up in my hometown of Angola, New York. He's all we have.
Well, he's all you have. He's all you need.
Well, let me tell you about my most famous high school alumnus, one Bill Cosby. So that's all we have.
Yeah, so that's an upgrade there, John.
Yeah, I'll take Laettner over Cosby. Although when I was in school, when I was a freshman, Bill Cosby came in to speak. And I was so jealous because the seniors got to hear him talk. I'm like, oh man, why couldn't I be a senior? But like now, obviously, they don't want anything to do with him. So it's funny how things change.
You're like, I'll take Laettner over Cosby. Like you're picking kickball teams or something.
Right. Take the guy who doesn't drug women.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Let's keep it with comments.
And Matthias said, I'd like to thank Brian Goodkunst for making the Packers relevant.
Whoa, Matthias, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. It sounds like you're jealous.
I actually gave the Packers a better grade for the Dolphins. I should give the Packers a better grade for than the Dolphins for re-signing Jordan Love than Tua. And I know that Jordan Love's played only 1 year, but I think it's all about the potential. Like, he played 1 season so far. He was second in passing touchdowns last year, even though all of his receivers are rookies and second-year players, and his best receiver, Christian Watson, was out for like half the year or maybe more. So you look at the trajectory of, like, if Love keeps improving and his receivers keep improving, you got to think that he's going to be just a great quarterback, and he's going to have the Packers in contention every year. So I think, it's not like a bargain or anything like that. I didn't give it an A, I gave it a B plus. I gave the Dolphins a B because Tua gets hurt a lot, and Love has never gotten hurt. But I still think it's a fine move. It's like, what else are the Packers going to do? Just get rid of him, start over? It's just, so they're kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. But this rock is pretty good because, like, they're going to be in Super Bowl contention with Jordan Love. So I get it. It seems like a lot of money, but I think in the end it's going to seem like it's worth it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be probably sound biased because I'm a Packers fan, but yeah, I mean, I think the word trajectory that you used was perfect. I mean, plus the team's so young. I mean, every single receiver last year was a rookie or a second-year player virtually. And in fact, I think all of them were. Yeah. So, there's nothing to suggest that it's not going to get anything but better. You know what I mean? They're going to start, they're young players. They're going to start gelling together, and everything, like you said, is that upward trajectory. So I think it's especially their history of, like, like with how they, groom quarterbacks, like, Rodgers after Favre and now Love. Like, I think it was the right move, and I expect them to be really good. So, but they are going to get crushed in week 1 versus the Eagles. Don't forget that, everyone. You heard it here first. It's Quacky's Y2K selection of the season. The Eagles -2 over my Green Bay Packers. It's the closest. I don't believe in locks, but I believe in lock adjacent. This is it's going to be my Y2K. It's a Y2K pick for me. Okay. It's a big one. So let's go ahead.
Sounds good. Sue says Wilt or Lou Alcindor. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to watch either, so I don't know. I wish I had a chance to watch all of them, so I can say which one for certain. But yeah, for me, for among all the players I ever watched, Jordan for sure. Chris says my birthday's tomorrow. I can't wait for football. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Chris. Although John says happy birthday 1 year closer to death. Make the negative approach there. Let's see.
True, so
let's see. John says Tua is the Cowboys of QBs, beats up on bad teams, horrible against good teams. That's a fair criticism. Although he's had some good performances. Like, remember that crazy comeback he had against Baltimore that 1 year.
Oh man, yeah, it was week 2. I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so he's had some good performances against good teams, and I don't know. We'll see if his team can stay healthy for a change. I think that'd be good, or if he and his team can stay healthy, I should say. John says Jordan was the GOAT, but I like LeBron better because he's not a jerk. I don't know if you're joking there. I suppose you are. Chris says, I am your age. Alcindor won 3 titles UCLA, and his JV team beat the national champion UCLA.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
Wow, that's insane. Holy cow. Well, perhaps I stand corrected.
Yeah, it says also Jordan is better than LeBron. His son is also better at scoring than LeBron's kid. Just ask Larson Pippen.
Oh my god! Hey, sorry. Do we have a couple more comments here?
Yeah. John says the senior girls loved Cosby's speech. Yeah, I imagine so. Paris says, "Well, really, what would be wrong with Cosby going around high school students?" I mean, back then it was I was a freshman in high school in '96.
Yeah, no one knew then.
No one knew. I mean, he was a star back then. He had the show. He had well, I think the show was over by then, but it was he had those Jello commercials. I mean, he was a star. And no one thought anything negative of him coming in. And I was jealous of him because I wanted to hear his comedy act. And so,
that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. John says Jordan Love had a stronger stretch the second half of the last season than Tua did his whole career. Wow. I mean, Jordan Love was terrific down the stretch against he had the upset against Kansas City. that game against the Lions on Thanksgiving, and then the great performance against the Cowboys in the playoffs. They almost beat the Niners in the second round. If stupid Anders Carlson doesn't miss that field goal, they might have beaten the Niners, and then we would have had Lions Packers in the NFC Championship. So that would
why you gotta dig up old bones, man.
It's one for me too, because I had the Lions. We both had the Lions to win the Super Bowl. So, which, by the way, I had a $10 free bet on FanDuel today. I put it on the Lions at 12-1.
You know, let's not get into it. But that Lions game was that I never hurt more after a game.
That was
more.
It felt like I lost a friend.
That one hurt. No one did hurt.
John says 311
Thank you,
super
John.
chat. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate it. He says, give more, but stock market struggling this week. Yeah, I imagine I've seen it struggle a bit. GameStop dipped a little bit. Actually, it dipped late last week, and I feel like it kind of stabilized at 24.25. I think like what happened was people were buying up $30 calls, and then they unloaded them for some reason. I don't know why. So that made the stock drop. So I think it's about like 24.10 or something like that right now. And I'm close to leveling up though in one of my IRA accounts. I said what I mean by that is like what I do there is I sell covered calls on GameStop, and then whatever money I make, I buy more shares. And so however many shares I have, I'm almost up to like the next 100. So I'll be able to sell one more cover call than I.
There you go.
So
you're about to evolve.
I know that's like leveling up in a video game. I think that's like
yeah.
Cool. So yeah. What is 311 in Bitcoin? That's not. It's like 0.0000. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever it is. It's okay. I typed it. It's 0.000015 Bitcoin.
Nice, man.
There you go. Yeah, just put in the Bitcoin. Although there are transaction fees, unfortunately. Because if Love pans out, you can't exactly fault the Packers, but there's obviously some flaws with their strategy of drafting the next guy up many years in advance. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that draft pick, even though it looks good now because Jordan Love had a great year or a great second half of the year, it was still a bad decision because they gave up a chance to win the Super Bowl. Like they could have drafted T. Higgins or Michael Pittman Jr. or Brandon Ayuk with that pick. Like all three receivers were there, and
or Justin Jefferson.
I don't think Jefferson was available.
Was he not? Oh.
No, I think he was gone. He's gone at 22, and I think the Packers drafted at 26 or something. So they could have drafted one of those other three guys, and they almost. Like that NFC Championship game against the Buccaneers was so close. The Packers came up short in the red zone. Remember, like if they had another stud receiver, they would have scored more points. Maybe they would have scored a touchdown on that drive. And they may have. In fact, if they beat the Buccaneers in that game, I'm pretty confident they beat the Chiefs, given how bad that Chiefs offensive line was in the Super Bowl. So if they draft differently there, they win a Super Bowl, a second one with Aaron Rodgers. And so kind of have to ask yourself, like, is that worth giving up on Jordan Love in the future? Because like they could have drafted another quarterback, and who knows? Like, I don't know who that would have been, but they could have gotten someone different too, and maybe had a bright future in addition to a second Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. So
they could have gotten Michael Penix Jr.
Exactly. Chris says having to pay Love before knowing if he's going to be consistent is a huge risk. Yeah, I guess so. But, I mean, you're just seeing what he did last year with rookies and second-year receivers and his best receiver being out and his running back being out for most of the year. Now he's going to have Josh Jacobs and Christian Watson, who's apparently discovered why his hamstring issues were so bad, and all the young receivers and tight ends, by the way. The two tight ends were both rookies and second-year players. Like, those guys are all going to be better with more experience. And so – I don't know. I feel like they've seen enough with Love that they're pretty confident. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fine move. It's not like a great deal, like I said, but I think it's something that they had to do.
It just seems like everyone's stars on the rise there, I guess.
Yeah,
just
Chris bringing up what I said. Sue says I think Sanders is going to have Tua, Pakua, or Diggs on his fantasy teams.
John.
I suppose so. That says Dan Campbell, biggest choke job. Truly a happy day. I wouldn't blame Dan Campbell for that. Like, people are saying he should have kicked the field goal. It's a 50-yard field goal. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's a guarantee that they would hit the field goal. And plus, Dan Campbell all year went for it in fourth down. So I don't know why he just suddenly changed his strategy. So I don't know. I'm fine with it. The guy dropped the ball. It wasn't Dan Campbell's choke job. It was the receiver who dropped the ball. So plus he had the weird play where like the ball sailed into Brandon Ayuk's hands, and then the fumble in the next drive. Like, it was like everything that could have went wrong for the Lions in the second half. It was just horrible.
I don't want to talk about it actually.
Bitcoin pays dividends just like gold. Bitcoin is definitely where you want to be. All right.
You think
go ahead.
You know, one of my favorite players of all time was Robert Horry. Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame? I think yes.
We discussed that. I think we discussed that. I think that, you know, I think there should be a place for role players, but I mean, I think he has to be considered one of the best role players of all time, given like how many championships he's helped win with his 3-point shooting and defense. So
I think he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. Just the consistency of how clutch he came up. Like, there's so many shots on like every team he was ever on. Yeah. You know, I was watching that game 5 of the 2005 finals when he was on the Spurs. Mm-hmm. And like Hubie Brown was like, hey, like, don't let Horry get it. I'm like, what do you think happened? He freaking drained a 3 to win the game. That guy was, I think he should be in, but anyhow.
Yeah. No, I think so too. And I once talked to an NFL Hall of Fame voter for football, and he visited Penn State, so I got to chat with him when I was a student there. Cool. And so I was asking, like, he said he was not going to vote for Tim Brown to be in the Hall of Fame, and I asked why, and he's like, yeah, like, Tim Brown's a really good player. Some would say great player, but I asked myself, like, did he change the course of history in the NFL with anything that he did? And that's something I asked myself when I vote for the Hall of Fame. And so I don't think he did. So, Tim Brown eventually got in, but this guy didn't want to vote for him because he didn't change history. But, like, you have to say Robert Horry certainly changed history a lot. Now it's like you could argue that, like, there's always role players hit shots, but like, given like he's done it so many times throughout his career, it's insane. So that's really interesting. Like, you know, like, I wonder, like, the people who like didn't, like, who voted no on like Derek Jeter first ballot or like a player like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyhow. Yeah, Sue says the pack as Sean Clifford if love goes down. Go. Yep.
Oh, Mr. Clifford, the big red dog. Oh, yeah. No, I put some stock in him. He'll do fine.
Chris says again, let's not bring up that upsets me. Screw Robert Horry and Rashid for not rotating out and Rip for missing right after that. Yeah. John says the role player, Hall of Fame, maybe.
Regular Hall of Fame. I think the role player Hall of Fame would be oversaturated. That's my contention, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a spot for like the best role player of all time. Like, I don't know. Chris says, and stupid Sean Elliott's medical issues, voting the trade that would have sent Horry to Detroit. Yep. And then Eli Manning would be a good Robert Horry comp. Well, Eli Manning's going to be in the Hall of Fame, like it or not. I know you could argue that he shouldn't be, and I don't think he should be. But, but if you do make that comp, like Robert Horry would make the Hall of Fame. I mean,
I don't know about that one, John. Eli Manning.
I think that's a good comparison, actually, now that I think about it. Like, the Giants didn't win the Super Bowl because of Eli. Like, they didn't win either Super Bowl because of Eli. Like, he was the game manager for both teams. It was the great defense, especially the defensive line, and their offensive line was awesome too. And so Eli just did a great job of managing both games. And he came up with some clutch plays. That's Robert Horry, right? Came up with clutch plays. I think that's definitely a good comparison.
I don't think so at all. I think Horry is far superior. Far superior.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue that.
We're about to get into it. 2 Super Bowl, and you know, John, that I'm on the side of I am a proponent of Eli Manning being in the Hall of Fame. So I don't know. I mean, I think Horry, like, I don't know. Like, when I think of Horry, I think of clutch. I don't think, while he made clutch plays, like, I never think of Eli Manning as clutch. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's just to me, like, it was bigger than that. And like, that's what comes to mind when I think of those players. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say, I mean, I don't even think Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I think he definitely elevated his play in big moments at times. But then again, he was dreadful in other big moments. So, yeah. All right, let's get into DraftKings here. I have it pulled up. As you can see here, I have a free ticket, enter ticket. This is very exciting. You got a free ticket if you deposited $5 in the DraftKings. So that's what I did. So yeah, I got this free ticket here. So I have not looked at these salaries. I just saw Josh Allen 8K when I started. So yeah, you have Josh Allen 8,000, CJ Stroud 75, Dak Prescott 71, Tua 7,000, Joe Burrow 65, Kyler 64, Anthony Richardson 63. I feel like everyone's going to play Richardson week 1 probably. Trevor Lawrence 62, Kirk Cousins 61, Deshaun Watson 6,000, Caleb Williams 5,900. First, do we have a picture here? No picture of Caleb Williams. How disrespectful. Justin Herbert 5,800. Jane Daniels. Do we have a picture for Daniels now? 57. Baker Mayfield 56. Gino 55. Daniel Jones 54. Russell Wilson 54. Aiden O'Connell 53. And Gardner Minshew 53. Derek Carr below Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Actually, no, the same salary. That's talk about disrespect, man. 300. Same salary as Minshew, O'Connell, and Will Levis. It's $100 more than Sam Darnold. That's pretty rough for Derek Carr. Wow. Yeah, Bryce Young 52. I think that's the cheapest starter.
Start Bryce Young. I'm dead serious. Start Bryce Young. I think they're going to win that game. I'm just saying. I mean, at that price, it might be worth a shot. You know, they could win a low scoring game too. You know, like that's kind of been the forte, you know, or rather their MO in their wins last season, because he hasn't impressed. But what if he does? Like, we don't expect who they're playing. Tampa, right?
No, they're playing New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, like we don't. You know, I know you don't, and I don't expect New Orleans to be very good. I think they could win this game, and I mean, at what 5,200? I mean, it really opens you up a lot of space. But I mean, I'm also terrible at NFL DFS. So, what say you?
I mean, I think they could win the game, but like they could win 17-16, and Bryce Young is going to get like 12 fantasy points. So I don't really see the upside with Bryce Young. And even if they win the game, it's like, all right, that means he's not going to be passing the ball in the fourth quarter. So I like in DFS, I'd rather have a guy I think is going to have like an insane fourth quarter in the comeback mode. So I just don't see the upside. And the Saints, like, yeah, the Saints are going to suck, but their defense is still pretty good. They still have some really good players on their defense. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan there. I'd rather have a quarterback who's going to run the ball a lot. Like, I look at Jaden Daniels, 5,700, and he's only $500 more than Bryce Young, but like, he's going to run a lot. He's playing against Tampa. The Buccaneers defense sucked last year, especially against the pass. Although, you know, Tampa does contain the run. Although Devin White's gone. It's kind of a big part of that. So I have some interest in Jaden Daniels here at 5,700. I talked about Anthony Richardson. This might be the chalk play of the week, but man, he's like, when he played, he was insane.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that?
Just look at his point totals. 21 in this first game, 17 and then 30. And this 17, that was one quarter of work. He had 10 passes. He had 17 fantasy points because he scored 2 touchdowns on the ground in 3 games. So I'm not counting this game because he only had 12 throws. In 3 games, he had 4 rushing touchdowns. This guy, he was like, he had a chance to go nuclear every single time he played. And none of these games, by the way, were full games except for this one, this 30.6 against the Rams, and he got banged up in that game. This guy is he has immense potential, and even if he's chalk, like, I don't think he's a bad play. Because like, this salary makes no sense. 6,300 for his potential, he should be in the 7,000s. Now, like, he only has one full game on his NFL belt so far. So maybe they're kind of reluctant to give him that $7K salary. But if Richardson, I guarantee this, if Richardson stays healthy by week 5, he's going to be 7,500 on here. Like there's no reason he should be only 6,300. So I'm kind of inclined to just plug him in and just see what happens. Like, just try to get, like, it's gonna be chalky, but try to be contrarian elsewhere. I don't know.
Start Trevor Lawrence.
Against I think that's a good one too. I was talking about guys who might be in like fourth quarter mode, like throwing the ball a lot. I think these Miami games are going to be insane this year. Like you're going to see so many like 49-42 games against Miami, because the Dolphins, they lost players to free agency this offseason, and their top pass rushers are both out. Like I suspect they're not going to be able to play in this game. Like they're both coming off major injuries. So you're going to have just because like last year, remember Miami would always get out to these huge leads in the first half, and then they'd run the ball like crazy in the second half. That's when you saw like Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert have huge games, just because like they would have these big leads from like the points they scored in the first half. They would just sit on the ball in the second half because their defense was good. But like that's different this year. Like their defense is going to be bad until their players return from injury. So that's why I say like they're going to have so many 49-42 games. So I guess if you want to be contrarian, I think that's the way to go. He's $100 cheaper too. You save $100. Trevor Lawrence. So yeah, I like that suggestion too. I haven't really looked at these salaries. I love Lawrence at 6,200. It's a great suggestion.
Oh well, okay. Look at that. The blind squirrel gets the acorn for once over here. Well, no, I mean I do, because I think people are also going to be down on Lawrence and the Jags as a whole, and I expect them, to be better than people think, because they were off to a great start. I bet them to win the Super Bowl last season. And as we've discussed before, they weren't the same, and Lawrence wasn't the same, even though he didn't miss really any time from his injury. It's just, I expect the Jags to exceed expectations. So I like that play at that price, it seems like. So,
yeah, I will say this. Andy, our proxy, is not a fan of the Jaguars at all this year.
Really?
I think he's down on Doug Peterson, and, Calvin Ridley's gone. So I think he likes the Colts a lot though. So he likes the other two teams in that division more. Sue asking Geno Smith against the dreadful Broncos. I feel like Geno he's due for regression this season, because Dave Canales has gone from 22, and then last year they had Greg Olsen to replace him, and so now he has a new coaching staff. I might be a learning curve there. They lost 3 starting offensive linemen this offseason, and what else is going to say about them? Plus, like, Denver's defense is, I think they're going to be weaker against the run than the pass, because at least they still have Patrick Surtain, to help defend one of those receivers. So I get, like, if you want to play someone against Denver, I would say Kenneth Walker might be the way to go. And I also think that there's a chance Seattle is the lead in the fourth quarter and Geno doesn't have to do anything. So I'd rather go with either Lawrence or Richardson there. I think you can play the other. I think you can play the other side of this too. 7K. I know he's more expensive than those guys, but Jacksonville's pass defense was horrible last year, and I don't think it's gonna be that much better too. So,
would you? I mean, I know Josh Allen is obviously most expensive, but I think because he obviously his numbers speak for themselves, but also I know that you anticipate this game maybe being a little closer than people think. I believe you like the Cardinals to cover, so there's a chance that he could be throwing late in addition to that. So would you still consider him, even though he's the highest price, I guess?
I'd consider it. Like, if I were playing 150 lineups, he'd definitely be in my core. I don't know how much of an ownership I would have in him. Like, the issue, though, is with Josh Allen at 8K is that, like, for him to pay out, you need him to get, like, 35, 40 fantasy points. Like, how many times did he do that last year? He had 43 here against the Eagles, and that's it. Like, because I say you need 35 to 40 because I'm pretty confident one of these 6 to 7K guys are going to score 30 or so. So you're going to have Josh Allen outscore those guys by 5 or 10 points for him to pay off. So I feel like Lawrence could get to 30. I think Richardson could get to 30. I think Tua can get to 30. I think maybe Kyler Murray, if he's going nuts in the fourth quarter trying to mount a comeback, I think he can get to 30. Like we've seen Murray in the past. He had 24 here, and he's coming off injuries. So like I think he has the potential to come close to that. Jane Daniels, who knows? Like maybe he can go nuts with his legs. I feel like I said, one of these guys will get to 30. So you need Josh Allen to outscore them, which could happen. Like I said, I mean, he can get 35, 40. Like he's just that good. Yeah. You also have to remember that they're gelling with the new receiving core too. So there might be some bumps along the way. So I think that if you're going to play Josh Allen, I think maybe second half of the year is probably going to be better. Although this matchup against Arizona is pretty good. So I'm not opposed to playing him.
Maybe Daniels too. I think you think the Washington football team could win that game?
Yeah, they could. It's new quarterback plus new coach in week one. It's something I like to avoid. So I'm not going to bet Washington, but I think in like a pick'em pool, I'd probably take Washington just because I'm so anti-Tampa this year. I think they're the number one regression candidate. Remember a year ago when we were talking about like Minnesota is definitely going to regress and the Giants are definitely going to regress. Like Tampa is that team this year. They had so many lucky wins last year. Mike Evans is now 31. They lost Devin White. And they have a lot of veterans on their defense too. And like they're all older now. Some of the younger players haven't panned out yet. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they will. But and plus, I don't think they're well coached. Like Todd Bowles doesn't strike me as a good coach. He's a good coordinator, but as a coach, I don't think so. So I think I think Washington could win that game, but it's pretty risky with new coach, new quarterback.
Okay. But I mean, I think that's a pretty good price too, the 5,700. I mean, coming from me who knows nothing, but
yeah, no, I think Daniels is one of my favorite plays. Like I if I had to rank these right now, I'd say Richardson's one. Maybe Lawrence is up there too, and then I think Jane Daniels might be 3 at 5,700. I would play Lawrence though over Richardson just because I think, like I said, if the Richardson's probably goes super highly owned, which again could be worth it though. So
fair. So.
I'm seeing looking at everyone else like Burrow, tough matchup. Prescott, tough matchup. Don't want to go there. CJ Stroud's okay, but again, 7,500. I'd rather go cheaper. Mayfield, it's gonna be funny. I feel like some people are gonna play Mayfield because it says 31st here. But Washington's defense has improved a lot this offseason, or at least
play Washington defense. Play Washington defense. Then I think that's a good. If you think you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that could be a good play. Yeah,
they'll probably be low owned just on reputation. Is that something you might agree with, or?
Yeah, I could see that. Like they're not seen as a good defense, I guess.
Yeah.
I want a better pass rush out of the defense I play, but their linebackers and safety and defensive backs should be better. So at least, especially their linebackers, like they haven't had good linebacker play in a long time, and like now they're gonna have Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. Like those guys are studs, at least Wagner used to be stud, but he had a great year last year. So
I think I like the Commandos defense as a play.
Yeah,
because also I think maybe people are going to be high on the Bucs after they kept it close into the second. They won a playoff game against the Eagles, who had put up the most pathetic playoff performance I've ever seen. I just think they're gonna just by reputation, people are gonna. Yeah, I mean, I definitely kind of like that move. So
I'm seeing another defense I like. About the Titans against the Bears. Titans defense last year was bad, but they added so many good players this offseason. Their defense has gotten so much better, and they're playing against a rookie quarterback making his first start. I kind of like that. Yeah. I kind of like that. And no one's going to want to play against Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's a saucy selection. I would entertain that for sure.
Okay, all right. Let's see some more quarterback suggestions. Josh says Bryce Young should have a bounce back year after increasing confidence of finally being tall enough to ride the roller coasters at Cedar Point this year. Nice. Yeah, I mean, look, when you're not allowed on the roller coaster, we've all been there when we were kids. We're like, you're not allowed. And Bryce Young is not allowed, but now he is. It must be pretty nice for him. Chris says, just look at him, Richardson. Tom, speaking of finally catching up on some of the live shows I missed, and I've got to ask you, What city do you think has the most attractive men between Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, and New York City?
Well, to answer your question, I haven't been to all those cities, so I don't think I'd be able to give a fair assessment, man. Sorry to let you down.
Which one haven't you been to? I've been to Vegas, Miami. But I've never been to LA or New York.
I've never been to Miami.
Miami, I had a good time down there. It's nice.
Yeah, I've never been there.
It was
So,
very weird. I went down there for the Super Bowl, that Chiefs Niners Super Bowl, and then I stayed down there the next week with my wife, and it was weird. It was February, but it was like 80, and we're on the beach, and like I was in the water. The water was fine. Like it was a very, very strange experience. Just like I'm on the beach. It's February. This is weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I never really went down there. I don't really have a reason to. So
I will say though that at least I wasn't at South Beach. I was at North Beach, and like the way I guess it might be different during the summer, but the way that they design the hotels is so stupid. Like the sun would go behind one of the hotels at 2:00. Because like it's weird because you have the hotels like right on the beach, like the high risers. So it was it was so annoying that like it would just get cloudy automatically on a sunny day at 2:00. I was like, this is like, who thought of this? Like, like a little bit lower. I don't know. So it says the over under is only 48.5 for that Jags Fins game. Yeah, that might hit over in the first half. Like that, there's not gonna be any defense playing that game. Chris says, also referencing a past show, what about this business idea? You have a room where you can't see anything and have to try and find some acorns. Then maybe you win a prize for however many you find. Also, everyone has to dress up in squirrel costumes, maybe sexy squirrel costumes. This is in Vegas. Yeah, I did reference to that eating in the dark. About.
Let me know when you form the LLC there, Chris.
I'll give it a shot. I don't know. What's Justin Fields' price out of curiosity? It's a good question. Fields is 5,000. Is that the minimum? Let's see. No, it's not the minimum. Hold on. Wait, it might be quarterback. No, 4K is the minimum. Okay, yeah. Fields is 5,000. If he's named starter, I mean, that's like I forget what I said about Richardson being chalk. This is gonna be the chalk. If Fields starts and he's only 5K, like yeah, everyone's gonna play him.
Well, don't you think they'll up his price? Yeah, or
no. This salaries are set. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can't change the price for week one. The salaries are out.
Damn, that sucks. I would say, do it now. Like get it, buy it now while it's low, and just in case. I didn't know that it was set like that. You know what I mean?
Buy that. Well, luckily you don't have to. You can always change your lineups. So, no, but no. I mean, no. Seriously, if Fields is named the starter, he's going to be like 30-40% owned in the main contest. I don't, or maybe even higher.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and it's not even a tough matchup. So yeah, good call, John. If he's the starter for sure. Sue says, Walt, you forgot to account for 3 Allen to Claypool touchdowns. Oh yeah, it's Claypool have you the salary? Let's see. Claypool's in the pool. He's the minimum 3,000. There you go,
dude. Chase Claypool is going to be his coming out party this year. I think.
If that happens, I swear. Like,
why? Tell me why I couldn't, man. It's his year, brother.
Why couldn't he?
What happened? What happened to him? He was supposed to be good. He had like a decent year on the Steelers, right? And then what happened?
Well, he can't run routes. He depended on his playmaking downfield ability, and then he just got lazy and didn't work hard, and he enjoyed the NFL lifestyle too much, and so it happens. I mean, you remember Michael Clayton in 2014 for Tampa? He had a ridiculous rookie year, Michael Clayton. I'm interested to see this. It kind of rings a bell, but Buccaneers. Let's see. Michael Clayton in 2014. It's actually let me pull this up. I typed this in the other window. Michael. What happened to Michael Clayton in the NFL? So it was earlier than that. So Michael Clayton career stats. This is like one of the saddest career trajectories ever. Let's do this, ESPN. So, it's 2004, not 2014. So, 2004, he had 80 catches for 1193 yards, 7 touchdowns as a rookie. He was incredible. And then next year, 32 catches, 372, 33 catches, 22, 38, 16. They just didn't give up on him. And then he was out of the NFL. I actually asked Charlie about him because Charlie used to cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before he started working for us. And he's like, yeah, Clayton just went out partying every single night and just stopped trying. And like, you saw this rookie year. He was like, this is not a fluke. He was so good. Was he
never had a season with more than 1 touchdown? Wow.
Yeah, after that. Yeah, he was the first round pick, 15th overall. He was going to be the next great receiver. Everyone's drafting him in fantasy after this year. Like 1193 and 7 touchdowns in 04. This is back before the new Peyton Manning rules, you know? Like think about what that would be within Manning rules. It'd be like 1,300 yards or maybe 1,350 as a rookie, which would be like insane. And then just nothing, like 484 yards. That's the most he had. 38 catches, the most he had after that.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I guess you do see that sometimes, but I feel like it's pretty rare.
Yeah. No, but yeah,
I'm trying to think of some others.
Yeah, like Charlie told me this guy just like partied nonstop. He just partied his way out of the NFL, which is a shame. 6th round pick apparently. What's this? According to what? So John. For Fields. John says Slay Claypool is a long shot. Slew he means. Claypool is a long shot to make the roster. Chris says, I hope the Steelers flip Fields for a 2nd round pick after the first major QB injury. Fantastic how dumb the Bears are. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't hold on to him and trade him later. That's so stupid. Say it ain't so. Chris says, I wonder if Claypool was in the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Hold on. What's this? Sorry for bothering you. Oh, no, you're not a bother.
Yeah. Sorry bothering you. Let me spam you here.
Yeah. No, it's no bother at all. Oh, well, thank you for what do they got here? Our price is like get this out of my face, man. What is Hey, we've made it. We finally made it. We're getting spammed.
Yeah, right. Sue says Claypool is a receiver in the NFL, and Walt says he can't run routes. LMAO. That's like being an accountant who can't add. I know.
How hard can it be? Why do you think they can't run the routes? Like just go this way and that way. I mean, I guess it takes practice like anything else, but like you think they forget how to run them?
I mean, there's like an art to getting open. You know, you can run like slot routes, and, like trick defensive backs into like where are you going? I mean, Jerry Rice ran a 4.7 at the combine, and like he's the greatest receiver of all time because he's the best route runner of all time. Like he just was able to get open, and that was incredible. Chris says, "Why'd you skip that? Looked like a nice offer to me. Perhaps an associate of the United back of Afrokin." Yeah, yeah. I remember I used to get emails from this guy. Said he's from the United Bank of Afrokin. And like I would respond to him as like I think that was Matt Millen or something, and I actually sent one of these people like Monopoly money to see what they would say.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was talking with a buddy of mine recently, and like we were talking about like when the internet like first came out, you know, and he said when he was a little kid, he like you would see those like pop-ups. It's like you're our 1 millionth visitor to this website, and like balloons were like it's flashing, and he's like back then, and like at that time, like we weren't aware that like people were out to like spam you and like send you viruses. Right. And he said like the first time he saw that, he's like balloons are shooting off. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." Like, he was so excited, like he thought he really won.
That's awesome.
Like to find out, like he's like we were just kids. But that reminds me, if you ever get that like junk mail, like the junk snail mail at your house, it's from like a car dealership, and it looks like you open it up and it looks like a check. I mean, it's pretty obvious to tell that it's not a check, but it says like $30,000, but you don't, if you don't read it carefully, which it's not hard to tell, but it'll say like you're approved for up to.
Right, yeah.
And like I was thinking about this because it's not zero. It's a non-zero number. How many people have received that check and like freaked out thinking that they just got to and like tried to take it to the bank to put it in their account? It's not zero.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it didn't work at all, then they would not do it. You know what I mean? It does fool some people, especially old people, which is a shame.
Yeah, like I think that really would suck. Like, could you imagine like you truly believed you won $30,000 out of nowhere, and you're like, I'm gonna go take this to the bank, and then yeah, I mean, I guess if like you've never like been exposed to it, like obviously like people fall for it. That's why they keep doing it. But that would suck so bad. I feel bad for people. Like
no, it's there. I think there's a special spot in hell for people who just take advantage of others like that, especially old people who just don't know any better. I think our friend Don Tollefson, who's I made fun of him all the time in the Monday night conversations. He used to be a broadcaster for the Eagles, and he got sent to prison for conning old people out of like $200,000. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah. He sold them like fake tickets or something like that, and he went to prison for several years.
Wow.
This is a long time ago. He might be out now, but it's hard.
He's back out there scalping still.
Yeah. Oh, he was the guy. He was the guy. During the remember when the Eagles got Nnamdi Asomugha? He was on the broadcast, the Eagles preseason broadcast, and he didn't get fired for saying this. I was like shocked. I thought he'd get fired for saying this when he said it. He was like all like women all over the Delaware Valley are lining up to cook and clean for Nnamdi Asomugha.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he said that on live air during the game.
What a freaking dumbass!
I know. I was like, I couldn't believe he said that, and like he just
what a dumbass.
And he was like, he's not even a good broadcaster. He would like he'd make up names and stuff like that. Although Kevin Riley was the worst.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Riley, like he would always say, like, "My Philadelphia Eagles," and he would
I couldn't stand Riley.
He would instead of Maurice Jones-Drew, he'd be like Maurice Drew Jones with the ball for the Jaguars.
Maurice Drew Jones.
Every name, every broadcast, you get someone's name wrong.
Shoot, who was the other? I'm trying to think. Wasn't Herm Edwards on the preseason with Kevin Riley? I know that Herm Edwards was. Oh, that was horrible.
I don't know.
I like Herm, but like that did not work.
Kevin Riley hated Herm Edwards. Do you remember those exchanges? He hated him so much.
I don't know if I knew about this.
He would never let him talk. I'll give you an example of it. So pretend you're Herm. I'm going to pretend I'm Kevin Riley. I'm going to ask you a question. So, Coach, what do you think about the Jaguars' chances of beating my Philadelphia Eagles?
All right. Well,
we'll be back after these messages.
Are you serious?
Every time you throw it to her and be like, "We'll be back after these messages." You never.
Wow, I didn't. That's good. That's good. Hey, remember when the Eagles did get Nnamdi Asomugha? That didn't work.
No, it did not. all the women who lined up to cook and clean for him were.
I can't believe he said that. I remember people went crazy for that trade out in Philly. What was that? 2012.
2011. It was right after the lockout.
And everybody like thought like I remember I was like I don't really. He came from the Raiders, right?
Yeah, that was the Vince Young Dream Team year, wasn't it? Or no, it was the year after. I think it was the year after, or no, maybe it was. No, I think that was a little bit later, like 2013.
The Vince Young Dream Team. No, because 2010. Yeah, 2010 was the first year that Vic was.
Yeah,
they were good. That was the year Green Bay beat them in the first round. The year Green Bay won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it was 2011 though, then, right? The Young Dream Team year. I
think
2011 is 2011.
Yeah, I think it had to have been.
Okay, yeah.
I never understood. I was like, well, what's this guy ever going to do anything? It was, and sometimes they don't pan out, but I just remember him like not panning out.
Yeah, Nnamdi was so good, and then he just. But the problem was the Eagles signed him when he was like 30, so it's like you're paying on past performance. Rather, we're talking about these young quarterbacks getting big deals. They're being paid on expectations, not past performance.
Right,
That's why I'm okay with Jordan Love getting $220 over 4 years. It's because like, all right, this is what he's going to do. Whereas like they paid Nnamdi, I'm like, oh, you did this, we'll pay you now. Like it's like no, it's not a good idea.
It wasn't.
Isn't well thought out. John saying a great trick is to put one fake lotto ticket into a whole bunch of real lotto tickets as a stocking stuffer gift for Christmas. My sister-in-law hates me now, but it was great.
Don't ever do that to me. I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
I also think I'd be able to identify it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like how real could those be?
Yeah. It says
Or however
Tollefson was
they
released.
appear,
Tollefson was released in late 2017 after serving 14 months of the sentence. Tollefson must also serve 15 years of probation. Man, like only 14 months for conning like old people out of $200,000. That feels like a light
How
sentence.
hard could the probation for that be? Like, hey there, Tolly, you scamming anybody?
I know.
No. All right, talk to you next month.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that, but
yeah.
you know,
Sue
I have to be an ass.
Sue says, I'm not sure what the over-under is set at, but we are now over 60 minutes in. Quacky hasn't mentioned the WNBA yet. Well,
they're on break for the Olympics, so they're not coming back till like the second week of August. So believe me, it's been tough. It's been tough. I'm just like baseball. You know, at least I need the women's games back, and I know Walter feels that way too. Don't worry, buddy. I'm
actually I'm 3-0 in my baseball prop bets that I made privately.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about releasing them. My trick is, I don't know if this is a great trick, but I'm looking back in the past and it's worked, is to look at great pitchers coming off bad performances and just betting their over strikeout totals. So
interesting.
I had Chris Sale today. No, not Chris Sale. What's his name? The guy from let me see. It was Blake Snell. I'm not sure if he's a great pitcher, but he had a rough performance. He's definitely not a great pitcher. His ERA is 5.10, but he had a rough performance last time against the Dodgers, and then he was playing Colorado today. 15 strikeouts today.
No, Snell is good. I think he's a former Cy Young winner. He's
He's having a bad year, but I do know the name. Like I'm not like too familiar with baseball, but I was just kind of looking at that and just like taking like, because my thinking is like these guys are really talented. They're coming off bad performances. You think they're going to bounce back, and they usually do. If you look at the game logs and just see guys who've struggled, they'll usually rebound pretty well after bad.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I'm sure
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's not going to work all the time, obviously, because guys can go in the funks. But I think more often than not, like I don't think I'd bet a guy a second time. If for example, if like a pitcher was terrible, and then I bet his overstrike total, and then he had another terrible game, I'm like, okay, maybe he's injured or maybe something's wrong there. So I think I would just stop once and just not keep going with that same guy.
Okay, but I'll look out for that.
Yeah, Chris says they did discuss WNBA All-Stars beating the WNBA Olympic team.
I did see that, but I didn't watch the game. I'm waiting for the regular season games to come back.
Yeah, golf is off next. Although they do have golf in the Olympics, but they don't have anything for like Rainmakers. I don't know if they're gonna have anything for DraftKings, unfortunately. So this is the first week in a long time I'm not gonna be going to the Trent Thunder baseball stadium, which is kind of nuts.
You get your day of rest.
I guess so. It's also the easiest bet ever made. For some reason, it's only 190.5, which made absolutely no sense at all.
Wow.
Germ 311.
Germ.
Thank you so much. I haven't seen you on here in a while, but hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to this. Now we're fine. So we obviously want to stack our quarterback with some players, and I think Christian Kirk makes the most sense. I haven't looked at his salary though. He's only $5,500, and Kirk last year had some really good performances. But keep in mind that this was with Calvin Ridley on the field. When Ridley was off the field, Kirk has always done a lot better. So I'm down for playing Kirk. And then I also want to pair him with Evan Ingram, who I think is going to have a great year, and it's $5,500. Not like it's not like a great salary. It's exactly what Kirk is, but I'm comfortable putting Ingram in there. So as for other receivers, CeeDee Lamb's 8,900, Tyreek Hill 87, Justin Jefferson 84. Then we go down a bit. We go Chase to 78, Devontae Adams I think overpriced at 76, Mike Evans 73. I don't want to play these old receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. 7,200. His debut in the NFL, he's over 7K, which is kind of nuts. You have Nico Collins, 6K, Keenan Allen, 69, Michael Pittman, 68, Stephon Diggs, 67 with Houston, Chris Olave, 66, DJ Moore, 65, Amari Cooper, 64, Jalen Waddle, 63, DK Metcalf, 62, T. Higgins, 61, Drake London, 6,000, Malik Neighbors, his first start at 5,900, Godwin 58, Ridley 58, Hopkins 57, Pickens 57, McLaurin 56, Sutton 56, Dell 55, Cooks 54, Lockett 54, so on and so forth. Then you get to the crappier receivers. Yeah. So I'm gonna just name a few. Palmer 5200. It's tough defense though. I don't want to go there. Khalil Shakir 51. Keon Coleman his first start 51 or sorry 5,000. Jackson Smith-Njigba 49. Curtis Samuel first game at Buffalo 4,900. Let's see here. What else? Ladd McConkey first game with the Chargers 4,700. Brian Thomas another guy we can stack with Lawrence 4,700. But it's only 800 more for Kirk. That seems wrong. Xavier Leggett 4,600 first game of Carolina. So if you start if you play Bryce Young, you may want to go with Leggett. Gabe Davis first game of Jacksonville 4,500. No thanks. I want to play Davis when he's like 3K and like no one's playing him because he's had so many bad games in a row.
DJ Chark is 4,000.
DJ Chark 4,000. He's the number 3 receiver on the Chargers. Roma Dunze first game with the Bears 4K, cheaper than Xavier Leggett. It's interesting. Jalen Polk another rookie 3,900. Greg Dortch, I like Greg Dortch.
Put Marquez Valdez-Scantling in there, man. He always comes through for you. 3,700
for me. No, he never does.
Oh no, he always hits, man. What if he does? What if he goes off? Remember, he used to be a deep threat. Like look at that 17.4. Oh, he'd be looking right, man.
Remember Valdez-Scantling deep threat? I remember Valdez-Scantling
on Green Bay. I actually I was upset when they got rid of him. I liked him. He was improving. Dude, what if he catches like an 80-yard touchdown at 3,700, and then you're going to be like, oh, damn it, I should have listened to Quacky.
I take my chances that doesn't happen.
But, I mean, how much do you really need him to score at that price? And if you can get like one of the big boppers with the money you got left over, huh?
But, like, are you being serious with this?
Well, educate me. I'm not good at this.
Well, he's not a top 3 receiver on that team. It's you have Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, and Khalil Shakir. He's the number 4 at best, and could be someone else too. Like he's not even guaranteed to make the roster. So I don't know. Like I just don't see it.
He's the secret weapon.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, don't take NFL DFS for me, guys. I'm just clowning around a little bit. So
I'm just kind of looking for someone who stands out here. Not really. So now there's so many 3K guys. It's insane. I'm not going to go down that route. But Marvin Mims 3,500. He has some potential. I don't know if I'm not going to play him, but as far as the other 3K guys. Adonai Mitchell is interesting at 3,800. He's really talented. I just don't know if he's going to make the starting lineup in his first game. Like I said before, I like Greg Dortch. Look at some of these performances late in the year: 15.2, 12.5, 11.7, 13.6. Ever since what's his name, Rondale Moore was gone. Like Greg Dortch took over that slot position. And just really did some damage here, and helped that Kyler Murray came back too. I like Greg Dortch 3,900. Like if you need a cheap option, I think that you could go that route. I don't know if we need a cheap option though. We have 6K left per player, but still, just putting Greg Dortch here with 65 left per player.
Sorry, continue.
Oh no, I was saying like something else I want to do is play someone on Miami because when you stack a team, you sometimes want to play the other team because you want the game to be a shootout. And like I said before, I think Jacksonville Miami could be the shootout of week 1. So Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle looks good to me. I'm gonna plug in Tyreek Hill and see what we get. Now we have 5,800 per player, and from my thinking, these running backs will probably need someone cheap here in the flex, given the running backs. But we can. Is there anyone else who's stand out receiver? Like any names that came up with? You or the chat.
I've got one for you. How much is Brock Bowers at tight end for the flex spot?
4,500. I don't like playing. I don't think playing double tight end is a good idea because the upside's not there.
But I think Brock Bowers could be the secret weapon. Like he could be an X factor for a lineup. I don't know. Like I think he could be. He could be like a rookie that kind of has a decent year. Didn't we? He had some pretty good odds for rookie of the year. Did he not? Weren't we looking at that? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's just so many decent options as tight end. Like you have Pat Fryermuth to 4,400. I think, if you're looking at tight ends, I think he's a good deal. Kyle Pitts should have a good year with Cousins there. Schultz, obviously a good play with Houston. Jake Ferguson, 5,200. Like he's in play. Like all these tight ends look good to me.
Yeah, well, don't you think Bowers will be like low owned though?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be highly owned. No.
Well, I mean, that could be an advantage, right? I don't know. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything.
Trying to figure out like who the highest owned tight end would be. Given how he finished, it might be Njoku. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know who the highest owned tight end's gonna be. I mean, McBride. I know there's a ton of hype with McBride. Like he's going like second round in fantasy drafts. I've seen. It's just crazy. I don't agree with that. I think Kincaid could have a monster year. But again, with Lawrence, I like Ingram. Ingram is so good last year. Like, look at the 23, 12, 18, 6, 32 and a half. Like these numbers are great. Like he's terrific. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think only 3 players had caught more passes than Ingram last year. Not tight ends.
Wow.
Like only overall 3 players. And now no Ridley. So I think Ingram's the way to go. Maybe he's gonna be the highest owned tight end, but I think it could be worth it, especially if you're playing with Lawrence. I was looking at going back to receivers real quick. I was looking at Tank Dell. His name popped up here, 5,500.
Oh, I think he'll be highly owned. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Nico Collins is there. Stephon Diggs is there. I feel like people might be thinking, what's going to happen on Tank Dell? I think Dell is a stud, and like Collins and Diggs are so much more expensive than him. So, I think
the value's there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a good option. I was looking like the 5K range, and
because Diggs wasn't having that he wasn't. He had some poor fantasy performances near the end of the season. Am I making that up?
No, he was pretty poor to close out the year. Just his start was amazing. Look, he had 29, 13, 22, 39, 28, 23, 17, 16, 22.6. And then what is this? Week 10 at Buffalo, week 11 at Buffalo. What is this? Something's wrong here. Look, week 15 at Buffalo, week 17 at Buffalo, week 19 at Buffalo. I guess because
they play each other a lot, huh?
Yeah. The Bills play the Bills a lot. Yeah, it was. I wonder if they won. They finally lost here at week 20 at Buffalo, even though they won. That was the last playoff game that they won. What is happening here?
I don't know.
It's very strange. But no, it was it was after that Denver game that they lost. Was it week 10? They made the change for coordinator. They went to Joe Brady, and ever since then, starting week 11, he had 6, 19, 6, 8, 7, 7, 15, 12, and 5. I don't think that was on Diggs, though. I think that was the change in the scheme. Plus, I think there's speculation Diggs was playing with an injury, so I think that there's a chance he's going to rebound. I like it better than Collins at 7,000. I think this is way too much. He had some big performances here, but a lot of them came after Dell got hurt. Like I think Dell is a better player than Collins, and he's $1,500 cheaper. So I like Tank Dell here. It's just a name to keep in mind if like we have money left over, we can upgrade Dorsch to Dell. Because I was looking at the 5K guys, like Godwin stands out to me because he's going to be playing in the slot this year, and you look at Liam Cohen, their new coordinator, his offenses, the slot receiver has always been super productive. So I'd rather have Godwin at his salary than Evans, who's 7,300. Like I don't think it's even close. I think they should be closer together, and I think they will be by like week 5 or week 6. George Pickens is live. He's the only receiver the Steelers have. The problem is that I don't like Russell Wilson. And then I just like look at the rest of the 5K guys, like Brandon Cooks this year. He's awful. Tyler Lockett's a million years old. Like Jordan Addison, he had was that a DUI he had? I think that he might be suspended. Deontay Johnson's okay. Joshua Palmer, tough matchup. Like this 5K range is horrible. Like the only 5K guy I would play with two guys I would play are Godwin and Dell, and I like Dell more. So and even going cheaper, like the 4K guys don't look great either. You have like Lad McConkey might do well, but it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, try McConkey, man.
Yeah, well, it's I don't want to play anyone against the Raiders. So like, remember Mahomes against the Raiders last year in Christmas? Like he just couldn't do anything, and now they have Christian Wilkins. Like I don't play anyone against the Raiders.
Yeah, but they never played against McConkey, so
That's a good point. Yeah, you have Curtis Samuel here is kind of interesting, but first game in Buffalo. I know as he's familiar with that scheme, but still, he hasn't played with Josh Allen yet. Yeah, his 4K range is pretty bleak as well. Like, I don't see the depth here at receiver. So
DJ Chark, $4,000.
Oh my god. Yeah,
He'll fumble at the one.
Yeah,
Won't do it.
It's the worst. He's always.
I still say MVS, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, I'll let you play MVS. I'm not playing MVS. I'd rather play Greg Dortch than MVS. Let's see.
Running backs. Go ahead.
Gabe Davis is the play. He has to show up at least once the first month. Yes, exactly. He'll have a good game at some point. And then get that guy off the screen. Is that Diggs?
Yeah, Diggs.
Sorry, John. Yeah, let's look at the running backs. So we have Jonathan Taylor, top running back, 7,800. Then you have, I guess, there's no McCaffrey on the slate because he plays on Monday night. There's no Breece Hall. He plays Monday night. There's no Saquon. He plays Friday. Who else am I missing? Derrick Henry plays Thursday. Jahmyr Gibbs plays Sunday. Kyron Williams plays Sunday. Like all the top running backs are out for the most part. So it's funny. There's only 3 guys above 7K. You have Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, Travis Etienne. If I had to play any of these 3, I think it would probably be Robinson. I suppose there's no, there's no, what's his name? The coordinator, he's gone, Arthur Smith. So, now they're not going to play like Cordero Patterson randomly. I think Bijan's going to have a great year, but I don't know. Like none of these guys stand out as like being amazing. I like Taylor a lot this year, but this Houston matchup's like not easy. And ATN, I'd rather play the passing attack there. So I'm not missing out. I don't think we're missing out on anything here in the 7K range.
Take Aaron Jones, man.
Aaron Jones against the Giants. I don't mind that.
6,500, yeah.
I don't mind that. I kind of wonder how he's going to play in Minnesota because Minnesota's run blocking is much worse than their pass protection. I like it could pan out. I could see Jones being a decent play. You have James Cooks to 6,900. You figure with the new receivers, he might catch a ton of passes. Achan's way overpriced at 6,800. He's not even the starter. It's like Mostert, I think, but it's like 1A, 1B there. Kamara 67. I don't know. You have like as long as Taysom Hill's there, like it's so hard to justify playing Kamara because like Taysom Hill just steals the touchdowns. It's so annoying. It's so bad. You have Joe Mixon at 6,600. Not in love with that. You have Jones 65. I think is okay. Mostert 64. Like both those guys are overpriced, I think. And you have Rashad White 63, James Conner 62. Don't mind James Conner at 6,200. Kenneth Walker, talk about him against that Denver run defense 6,100. Eckler 6,000, DeAndre Swift 6,000. Then you get into the 5Ks. Stevenson 59, Tony Pollard 59, Zach Moss 58, Elliott 58, Zamir White 57, Singletary 57, Najee Harris 56, Jalen Warren 56. Interesting, same price on Harris and Warren. Charbonnet 55, Javonte Williams 55, Jerome Ford 55. I think that's a good play, 5,500 for Jerome Ford. Dallas's run defense is really soft. You saw what Aaron Jones did in the playoffs, and Cleveland has one of the top offensive lines in the NFL. And I don't know what this Q tag is, but like maybe that keeps people off of him. But I don't know. Like I feel like he's going to play week 1, and then Nick Chubb is not going to be on the field. So I like Ford. I'm going to pencil him in right now. Gus the Bus Edwards 5,300. I'm curious where Dobbins is because I think Dobbins is.
I just saw him up there. Yeah, a little lower, I think.
Okay. Dobbins. Okay, yeah, they got 4,900 for Dobbins. Wow. Although it's a tough matchup. Man, I don't want to play anyone against the Raiders. So maybe not this week. But Dobbins should be more expensive than Edwards. Anyway, you have Ty Chandler, 5,400. He's not even a starter. It's kind of weird that he's there. And then you have Chuba Hubbard, 53. Brian Robinson, 52. Nice value there, I think. And then you have Khalil Herbert. Yeah, then you have your backups here for the most part. Arthur Smith's probably like, Tyler Algier, 5,000. Let me play him. And I guess that's like basically it. So I like Jerome Ford at 55. And I like I like your suggestion of Aaron Jones at 6,500. I think that's a good one. But I like these guys in the 6,000 range. Well, I like Cook for the most in the 6K range. I like Cook. I like Jones. Rashad White's always a decent play. I like James Conner too, and Kenneth Walker. I mentioned him. Although he has potential for some big games for sure. Like I said, if you're going to play someone on Seattle, I think it's going to be Walker. Although with those new offensive linemen, that kind of scares me. So let's put in Aaron Jones 6,500. See what we get. We have 5,400 left over for any player, and we're 100 short for Tank Dell. How sad is that?
Oh, that sucks.
Let's
try Tyler Lockett, huh?
No, no thanks.
Take old Mother Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah. Man, I don't like these options here. I kind of want to, sorry for doing this, Tom. I want to take out Jones.
Okay.
I want to put in Connor.
All right.
And I want to, what do we have left here? We have with Zamir White, Singletary, Hopkins, no. Pickens, interesting. But man, Tank Dell, 5,500. I'm putting him in. So as far as start times is concerned, because we're talking about the flex, this is a 1:00 game. This is a 1:00 game. 1:00 game. It doesn't matter. So all right, that's our lineup here. We have Trevor Lawrence, Jerome Ford, James Conner, Christian Kirk, Greg Dortch, Tyreek Hill, Evan Ingram, Tank Dell, Titans defense. Seems pretty good to me.
I like it. I've got a question for you here.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I want to get to the comments because they might have suggested any running backs or receivers. John says, I like James Conner. Okay, we're on the same wavelength there. Cardinals will try to ground the game out. Yeah, plus Connor's going to catch passes too. Chris says, there's also little reason to not focus on stopping the run against the Vikings. It's a good point. Yeah, I feel like Jones is going to see a lot of men in the box there. John says, I read a recent tweet that no running back coming from a torn Achilles has ever been relevant in fantasy the next season in history of football. Not great for Dobbins. I think you could be right about that, but it seems like he's at full go right now. And plus, I mentioned this. I don't know when I mentioned this. I think I was on Wednesday with Kenny. Daniel Jeremiah, who is the NFL draft guy, but he's also the Chargers radio broadcaster, and he knows a lot of Ravens people because he used to work for the Ravens organization. And I say that because those Ravens guys went to the Chargers. He said, he's like, if you're playing a fantasy this year, get Dobbins on your roster because he is the main guy for the Chargers. And if he stays healthy, he's gonna be great. So, but maybe not week one, because first of all, it's a tough matchup. And second, you're right. Like, you don't know how good he's going to be off the torn Achilles. So maybe just for DFS purposes, just kind of like bide your time a little bit. And then, Sue says, surely Arthur Smith will feed the ball to his power quarterbacks. Exactly. He will. All right. So what were you going to say?
Okay. So you mentioned Taysom Hill earlier. So it seems like at least once a year, Taysom Hill has a game where he scores like 2 touchdowns. Like, he has like a pretty good game. Would it behoove us to every week start him at quarterback for like just make one lineup?
Well, he's tight end. He's tight end here.
Like start him at tight end. Because like I feel like he hardly scores any, because there's some like he's got to be low owned all the time. I wish he was at quarterback. Was he at quarterback at one time? Because that would be a better play. Like he would definitely be low owned, I think, at quarterback.
Yeah, he used to be. But like I feel like you're throwing a lot of money away. The problem is like, you'll have some spike weeks. So let's look at his stats. So he has 0.4, 8, 3, 3, 3, 12, which is okay. and you have 16, 22, and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then you get the 4, 9, 15, 1, 0, 11, and 11. You're in these spike weeks, you'll have a chance to win, but like you still have to get everything right. And in those games, in those 22 and 20 games, he was playing more tight end, I think because Jawan Johnson was injured, so he was playing more tight end. So I don't know, because like you're never going to cash with this 3. Like, I mean, maybe you'll win cash, but like you're gonna be throwing money away like crazy here. I don't think it's like the worst idea to like if you're.
But you don't think it would be as much of an advantage as I might think, basically.
No, because I don't know. Like even in these 22 and 2,000 weeks is 20 week is 4,700. Like how many 20-point games did Evan Ingram have? And he's been about the same price. So like look at this, like Ingram 9, 11, 13, 12, 6, 11, 9, 17, 5, 6, 9, 23, 32. It's better than anything Hill did. 6, 18, 12, and 23. Yeah, Hill's best game was 22, right? Ingram had 23 plus 3 times, and he's about the same price. So,
fair enough. If he was slotted as a quarterback, I think maybe that pays off a little bit better. I don't know.
I mean, if he's a min-price 4K quarterback, yes. But if they price him up, he's 4,300 tight end. If he's min-price tight end, then I think you'd be onto something. But like the fact that like Freiermuth is $100 more, I'd rather play Freiermuth. I'd rather play Bowers. I'd rather play Pitts. I'd rather play all these guys.
I didn't realize he was a tight end. I thought he was. I feel like he was slated as a quarterback at one point, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But hey, what do you think is? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to.
No, go ahead. You go.
What do you think? This is something I've been thinking about in the last week. What do you think is the future of the running back position in football? Because it's really become almost canon at this point to football fans that it's like it's a position that like you're here for like, a couple of years and then like most of them are gone because they take such a beating, so it's like now that that's become like more like known, like more than ever, like I feel like there's got to be like less and less kids who are going to play football who would be willing, and parents too, who would be willing to have their kids play running back, who would like want to come in. Like, I think over time, like, do you think there's a chance that like the position, or like it could just be like by committee sort of thing? Like no one is a running back and like most plays are pass plays, because I think over time, like people are like, there's not going to be enough people who like really want to do it. I guess there'll always be somebody, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a trend that way. A lot of teams have committees now. Like back before the Peyton Manning rules, it was if you drafted a running back in the first round of your fantasy league and he scored fewer than 15 touchdowns, like you were disappointed. Like now the league leader in touchdowns is going to be around 15 or 16. Like I mean, you'll occasionally get a 20 here and there, but yeah, like that's what's happened is you have so many committees, and I think we've already seen that. So I don't know if it's going to keep trending that way, but I mean the cream will always rise to the top. Like they're always going to have some players who are great at the position. Like just last year, you had Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs as first round picks, and they're phenomenal. Like so, like you're always going to have like good running backs come up, but they do get cycled through very quickly. Like Todd Gurley was the MVP, or it was almost MVP of the league in was it 2018, and then like 3 years later he's out of the NFL. It's just it's insane. Remember Ezekiel Elliott, how great he was in 2016, and like now he's just an afterthought, and he hasn't even played a decade in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good example because he was. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much. Wait, he is back on the Cowboys now, right?
He is back on the Cowboys. Yeah, I don't know if he's the starter technically, but it's either him or Rico Dowdle. I actually think there's a chance that the starting running back for the Cowboys is not on the roster at the moment. I feel like they could trade for someone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if somehow Zeke's career gets resurrected? Like it's his coming out party this year.
I mean, what if
there's any chance?
What if I grew 3 wheels and became a tricycle? I feel like that could happen too.
You think it's like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him struggle for years. He was so bad last year. As a receiver out of the backfield, he was like pretty decent, but like running ability, it was just gone. I think that all the injuries and all the wear and tear he suffered like throughout the years, it just weighed on him. And even if he is able to just be a more effective runner this year, you still have Dallas's offensive line, which lost their two best players, really. Like or if you want to count Zach Martin, but he's on the decline. Like they lost Tyron Smith to the Jets, and they lost Tyler Biadasz, their center, to the Redskins. So they're not going to have those two guys. Zach Martin's 35 now. Their right tackle last year was horrible. And then Tyler Smith, their other offensive lineman, he's probably their best guy unless Zach Martin resurges. So, like that offensive line is a work in progress. So, like again, even if Elliott is can regain some form, he's still going to have bad blocking in front of him. So,
okay, so don't draft him.
I mean, he may not be the starter. Like it could be Rico Dowdle.
I'm just goofing around.
Right.
Yeah, I think I just think it's a position too. Like we were saying, it's really going to be like it's. Do you think there'll still be running backs in like 10 years?
Oh yeah.
Or like 20. I don't know.
Yeah. There'll still be running backs. It just it'll kind of be the same thing where like they might pass even more. But like you're always gonna have a threat of the run. Like I think it'd be foolish to abandon the running back position because like. Right. You could do well with running the ball, especially if like teams are so focused on stopping the pass. Just have a strong running game to kind of offset that. I think. Let's see here with some comments. Here, Love T says, Professor Q, it's fighting time. Can I be on your side?
Nice.
Yeah,
I know the reference.
God says the world would be better if Taysom Hill was never born.
Oh my God.
Plus Hitler, I guess. Gadget players, come on now. So I think we will go back to the Larry Center, Kimball Anders, Richie Anderson, fullback third down roles. Yeah, I miss those pass catching fullbacks. We had that with like Kyle Juszczyk, but like nothing like Larry Centers or as Chris Berman called them, Larry self centers.
Never forget Mike Allstott. Oh man,
Mike, you're in good hands with Allstott.
Yeah, Mike Allstott was the best. Oh man, I've never seen anyone like run maybe Earl Campbell, but like just run people over. Mike Allstott for the Tampa Bay Bucks. For those of you who may not be familiar, just look up Mike Allstott highlights. He like just ran through people. I love the man.
He was great. I was a big Amp Lee fan back in the day. Nice. Sue says with 17-game schedule and expanded playoffs, the NFL has really made it tough on the running back position. It really has, and they're trying to go to 18 games, which Goodell's like it might be at the expense of the preseason. Like, the NFL preseason is way too long. The teams don't even play the starters anymore. Some teams do, like curiously, like the Chiefs do, but like the other teams that you would think need to play the starters don't play the starters. Like last year, I think the Colts played Anthony Richardson once, if I'm not mistaken, but like it was the first game. And you're like, okay, I can't wait for Richardson to play. And they're like, okay, we're not going to play Richardson. Like, this guy's a raw quarterback. You're not going to play in the preseason. But, apparently they didn't need to because he was great in week 1. And he was great in week 2 until he got hurt. And then he was great in week 4 until he got hurt. I don't know.
I guess this is the last show. Sorry. Keep going.
No, I was about to say, like, I just don't know, like, why you would even play your starters in the NFL preseason now. They just didn't seem worth it.
Yeah, I guess this is the last show that we're going to do before football's back, right? Isn't the Hall of Fame game on Thursday?
Yeah, but there's no football that Saturday either. So yeah, I mean technically yes, but
right.
The real preseason starts August 8th, which is 2 days.
The real preseason. That's Hall of Fame game is part of the preseason. Don't discount it now.
It's so bad.
Oh no, I love it.
It's terrible. If like guys who don't make the NFL roster are starting in the I don't even know which teams are playing. Honestly,
you don't get excited like it's just like a way to like football's back,
No, because you can watch highlight reels and that would be the same.
But remember that it was the Titans were playing somebody in the Hall of Fame game, and that punter ran it. It was a fake punt. He ran it in for a touchdown, and they were wearing the Oilers logo. So like, magic happens in those Hall of Fame games. Walt, give them a chance.
Magic. Yeah. Well, you have Bears Texans, right? And like in the old days, you would have Caleb Williams is going to play one quarter. Like no, he's not going to play. the CJ Stroud second year. He's going to play a couple of series. No, he's not going to play. Like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, yes, these guys would have played in this game, and it would have been great. But now you're going to have like who's going to start here? Let's look at their rosters. Chicago's starting quarterback for Thursday's game is going to be Tyson Bagent. And then
nice Bagent's getting the call.
Yes, and then for Houston, it's going to be Davis Mills. So I don't like. How do you get excited for a matchup between Tyson Bagent and Davis Mills?
I'm pumped. Yeah, but it just like marks the beginning of football coming back. Like, it's like the warm up. Sort of.
I mean, I think training camp marks it more, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like you get to see, like you actually get to watch like the NFL teams on the field. It's like it's been a while.
You get to watch guys who are not going to make the roster on the field. I don't get excited for the Hall of Fame game. I don't know.
Landmark part of the season, like it's like, let's get ready to begin. You don't think of it like that? It's just, I don't know. It's just like, it's like now it begins again.
No, I mean, like now what begins is crappy games until the real action starts. This is
would you rather watch the Hall of Fame game or the best WNBA or the best WNBA game that I've seen?
Oh no, I'd rather watch the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
It's like, if you ask a smoking hot girl out and you can't wait, you're like, oh, I can't wait for this date, but you know what? I'm going to ask the ugly girl out first and then take her out.
I challenge your opinion of the Hall of Fame game. I think you should hype it up a little more, man.
Well, I told you I'd rather watch that than WNBA, so I don't know if that counts.
No, it's fun. It like kind of, I mean, I guess I don't really watch it either, but just like knowing it's on when I don't watch it, it's kind of like, oh, like it marked it's the day is near, it is upon us.
What marks that for me is it's my birthday is 2 days before the Hall of Fame game. Like that usually is like, yeah, I get to celebrate my birthday and then go into football. But that's sorry, it's 2 days before the real preseason, which is August 8th, which is going to be like a bunch of teams are going to play that Thursday, I assume. Who knows? It might be like 2 or 3 games, but still, like the 8th is like that is what I view the real start of football. It's like when you have a bunch of teams playing in the preseason, as opposed to like one game where like this is their fourth or their first of 4 preseason games. Like they're not going to play anyone. It's going to be a joke. Like and you're going to have like guys like. There might be like 1 or 2 rookies worth watching, and that's I don't know. I'd rather just almost not watch the game, and then I will watch it for sure.
Good. I'm glad.
But like I'm not looking forward to the Hall of Fame game. I'm looking forward to the start of the season, which is what is it? September 5th, which is it's almost a month from now. So
yeah, that's right around the corner.
That I can't wait for.
Yeah, but
awesome.
It's gonna get for like how many months since the Super Bowl ended. We've just been on here like bantering about God knows what, and now like it's gonna have to change. Like, have you thought about this? Like, we're just gonna have to like do football. I mean, yeah, like
we're gonna have to do football.
Well, no.
Oh no!
But I mean, like we're gonna sneak some gags in here and there, but we're gonna have to, cut out the foolishness and get down to business. Have you wrapped your mind around that yet? I had to do it the other day.
Let's get down to business. We have to win the super contest. So
and I'm looking forward to it. I'm just saying, like, I realize that like pretty soon it's going to be back to all business, which is just fine. I enjoy that aspect of it too. But have you at any point been like, I forgot? Well, I guess that's dumb to ask you because it's your job. But like at points, it's like, oh yeah, like we do like have like the football season like here on Walter Football, because like I just in the summertime and everything in the off season, we've just been on here just like goofing around, having a great time. So it's it'll be fun to transition back into it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's always fun to do things differently throughout the year. It's nice that like it's not like one constant thing where like. Imagine if football was year round and we'd have to we'd do it every week, which like I'd have fun watching football year round, but it would be the same thing all the time. Whereas like we get to do different things at different parts of the year, which is I think is interesting. So I don't know. And even if you just do the football stuff all year, you have like September through January / first week of February. You can handicap the games and do DFS, and then February through April you have the draft stuff, so you can focus on the draft and free agency, and then May through August you have fantasy football prep, and so if you're just doing football, even like you have different things to talk about. I think that's pretty cool. At the end of like I basically like there are three different seasons of football. There's regular season, there's draft season, and then there's off season. So I always like that.
Right, and I do enjoy the weeks leading up to the draft too. Of course, you know that's a really exciting time too. So like I guess for me, because that's like 2 months, pretty much after the Super Bowl, like you kind of get right into that section because it's what, like 2.5 months later. So it comes up quickly. But like between then and then, like we've just been between the draft and now rather like we've just been like bantering about like Game of Thrones and stuff and like whatever else comes up. So I like thought about it the other day, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to like immerse ourselves in football, well, like me more than I am now, So like it's funny how, I guess my point is like it's crazy how like time passes so quickly,
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been immersed in stuff. I've been looking at past games that I don't remember and trying to handicap them. So, I'm pretty excited for this.
Oh, that's an interesting exercise.
Yeah. I do that. I do that sometimes, and I've been doing that. I started doing it during the flight to Vegas. That's what I was doing on the flight and the flight home. Just like I said, just like being like, oh, I don't remember this game. Let me read what I wrote into it and just try to be like, look at the injuries heading into the game, like try to handicap the game. So I don't know.
Interesting. That's a pretty good exercise.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. John says Caleb Williams could play in the Hall of Fame game. I would be shocked if he plays. I'm not saying like it definitely won't happen. I just don't see it with 4 preseason games. I think that like there's a chance we may not see him at all in the preseason, just because like teams don't want to play their starters. We saw Richardson in 1 game, I think. Kim Eagle says football fans will be cheated in the long run with expanding seasons. College players could play 16 games, and the NFL goes to 18. The great players won't last as long, especially the running backs. Yeah, that's certainly true. I totally agree with that.
I'm with it. Yeah,
I wish they didn't go to 17 games. I think that was a mistake. I think like putting the players at risk too for those Thursday games is just awful too. It just shows that like Goodell just doesn't care about his workforce. It's just horrible. Yeah. It's just an awful commissioner, I think. Lefty says, Kansas City is going to have Mahomes in the drive. That is why they are the best. The Mahomes wants to play in the preseason. Like he like is adamant that he needs the action, and like you can't argue with the results. He's the best. She says, in the olden days, it was the college all-stars against the NFL champions. That'd be pretty cool. I'd love to see that.
I'd love to see that too.
Yeah. Chris says, well, you, Tom, should be focused on the Olympics right now and betting things like synchronized diving. Who do you have in synchronized diving? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I did happen to see like a video of it on social media, like passing through. There were like 2 divers. It was like almost perfectly in sync. It was pretty wild, actually. But I don't know anything about it other than that clip I saw. But I'll have to look into it.
I don't know. Given the satanic stuff at the Olympics, I don't want to watch that at all. If you just look at their ceremony, you haven't seen it. It's like satanic rituals. And they had like this Lizzo white woman as like she was pretending to be Jesus. It was just like it was horrible. Chris says, just watch it. Just watch it. Chris says, I'm with Tom here. Maybe the 2 of us should start our own website show and call it Walter Nonsense.
Yeah, it's like those who want the fun list.
Right.
Like, just like the banter.
And there's always room for that. Like after our Thursday show, during the season, we spend a little bit of time talking nonsense.
Yeah, we'll feel it out. It always works out well. So
yeah. CFL, yes. The Edmonton Eskimos.
Oh, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Don't forget about the Tiger Cats.
Yes. Montreal Alouettes, Toronto Argonauts. It was like the Ottawa Redbacks or Red Blacks. I forget. Let's see who else. Calgary Stampede.
You've been a lifelong Stampede fan, right?
Saskatchewan Roughriders. Who else is there? I don't know who else.
How you gonna know all the CFL teams? You can't name me one WNBA team.
I can name it. I know the New York Liberty, Indiana Fever, Washington Mystics, LA Sparks, Phoenix Mercury, Connecticut Sun. If you name me a city,
you passed the test.
If you name me a city, I might be able to.
No, that's good enough. I'm impressed. I didn't think you.
I just see the names. I'm like, I just remember them. I don't know. Wow. Chris says the passage of time slows for no one. Soon we'll all be dead of old age, or maybe AIDS if we're lucky.
Good Lord.
Well, I don't know, with the Cylon technology, maybe we'll live forever. And then Latif says, love the CFL. I could see myself getting into the CFL more than anything else we've mentioned, but I used to do some CFL betting, and I started like pretty hot, and then I faded, and then I just stopped doing it. But Aces, there you go. Walt, did you not attend an Aces game while you were in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
No, I spent most of my time going from sportsbook to sportsbook, collecting odds, comparing odds. I actually spent some time writing jerks of the week, so I wouldn't have to do it when I got home. By the way, 8-part jerks of the week from Walt Goes to Vegas in 2024. 8-parter. Hey. I think that's the most I've ever done. Wow. Dude, people were. This is the day after we recorded last week. I was almost killed at the pool. There were people from the balcony throwing water bottles down from from 50 or 60 floors up, and this one landed like no joke, like 10 feet in front of me, and I was reading a book, and I saw I heard a pop, and I got splashed. I thought the people in front of me were opening up a champagne bottle. I was pissed. I was like, what the hell? And the people in front of me were looking at me. They're like, what the hell happened? I'm like, what happened? And we saw this water bottle on the ground. It's just exploded.
Oh my God.
And there's only one fell. And the woman, it was a couple in front of me. The woman, she said she used to serve in the military, and she's like, that reminded, she started freaking out. She's like, I have PTSD. She's like, I need to get out of here. She's like freaking out because it just reminded her of people getting shot. So the dude was yelling at the hotel security guy. Because it's funny, his wife was freaking out. This food, this guy is huge. This food got wet. He's like, while his wife's freaking out, he's like, my food's wet. I can't eat these chips. he's like telling him the food. Whereas his wife was freaking out. We almost died. So they leave. I thought it was an accident. I thought someone just dropped their bottle. I don't know. But then suddenly, 2 minutes later, I heard another pop. The water bottle fell into the pool. Almost hit some kid. And then 2 seconds later, another water bottle fell on the grass, on the side. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I just had to vacate, move to the other side of the building. It's ridiculous. So
you think you could die from? You think you would die? You definitely could. Do you think you would die from something falling that far?
If it hit your head, you might get a concussion. If it's a full water bottle, I don't know how high it was. I was on the 51st floor of the building, and I was not even I was about halfway up. I think it went to 80 floors or 90 floors, the Cosmo. So if you're dropping something from 80 or 80 feet up, 80 stories up, and just hitting someone in the head, and it's a full water bottle, I'd have to think that would do some major damage to you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't like that. I don't like. I'll ride roller coasters and fly on airplanes, but I don't like heights and stuff. I don't like standing up there on balconies and looking. It freaks me out. And people are throwing. I don't know what the hell is coming to. I guess I don't know. That doesn't freak. Does that ever freak you out? Like being on a high floor and looking if there's a balcony.
No, I had a balcony for my room, and I was out there. I was doing work out there actually in the morning. I would wake up at I would go to sleep at midnight out there, which is 3 a.m. here. I'd wake up at 7 or I try to get 8 hours sleep, just didn't work. But I woke up at 8 in the morning, and I'd go outside, and for an hour I would do some work, and then it would get super hot. But at 8 a.m. it was kind of the sweet spot where it was light outside and it wasn't too hot yet. But then you got to like the 9 o'clock hour, you started like burning up. You're like, oh man, I got to get inside. But yeah, and also there was this. I'm gonna have this in Jerks of the Week. There's this picture of this like creepy woman in my room, in this hotel room. She was like, and she's like overlooking the bed too. Like, I'm like, the first night I was there, I was like, there's no way I'm sleeping tonight. Like, someone's gonna like climb out of the painting and like just like suffocate me or something. It's like, I'll show you guys the picture in Jerks of the Week later.
It was a painting.
It was like a portrait. There were like 4 portraits.
Yeah.
One of them was like a dog with like the wind blowing in his hair. There's something like, I forget what the other 2 were, but like one of them was just like this creepy looking woman just looking down at you. Like I almost called the front desk and like, can you have this removed? Like, this is horrible. Why do you have this here?
Put like some
Fortunately, I
duct tape
made it out
over
alive, so you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. I want to see this picture. I want to see this picture.
Yeah, I will post it on Jerks of the Week eventually. It is.
I
I don't know, man. It was weird, dude. I don't know why they would do that. Paris said I went to FSU, definitely AIDS. Oh man, you see some of the pictures of women there. It's crazy. Chris says that that's going to the last half of regular season.
Wait, what is?
Which is why this is a problem. Like when I read comments that were made like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Actually, this is 8 minutes ago, so or 4 minutes. Up the CFL, all receivers go in action, three downs, field goals, uprights at the goal line. Cool game. Yeah, it is certainly different. The field is a lot wider too, so like the guys who like can go sideline to sideline like that, the major advantage. I think that's why scrambling quarterbacks do well there.
Yeah, and don't forget about the Rouge, the 1 point Rouge.
1 point Rouge, yeah, absolutely. John says, wait, they let women serve in the military now? Yeah, apparently. But yeah, they don't have a draft or anything. But yeah, you can. And John says, I mean, don't get me wrong, they excel at Secret Service agents. Yeah, they did a great job protecting Donald Trump. Was that like almost a month ago now, right? Or 3 weeks ago, I guess. Yeah, it's crazy. Or is it 2 weeks? It might have been 2 weeks ago. No, it was the 13th. It was the 13th, so it was 15 days ago. Yeah. Sue says 94-95. We had the CFL Shreveport Pirates. Kickoff in July, August at 7:30 with 95 degrees. Feels like 103. Never seen so many players go down with cramps. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Pirates.
It's pretty rough to play July, August games.
Yeah.
At least they played at night. You know, it would have been so much worse during the day. Yeah, Chris says, do you think you'd reconsider watching WNBA if you had been one of those models? Yes, I think so. I think I'd be like the biggest WNBA fan. Although I don't think I'd be able to name the team names. So
I'll convert you. Don't worry.
Oh my God, I have horror stories in college. Yeah, you could buy my book. You could read them.
Yeah.
Read them. Chris says your 8-part Jerks of the Week will last half the NFL season. So my goal was to write up as much Jerks of the Week material as possible before the start of the season. So I don't have to do it during the season, because like whenever I have to write Jerks of the Week during the season, that's like time taken away from handicapping games, or handicapping like DFS or whatever. Which is like even tougher now with two kids. So I have this 8-week Jerks of the Week written up. I also have 7 other entries that I haven't written yet. So I have 15 entries. I want to get up to 18. But this Sunday one gets taken away because I have to do it for Monday. So I do want to get to 17 or 18 and just not have to do anything during the regular season. Mega Alexander says, Walt, when are you going to start doing the fantasy football mock draft videos again? In August. So on Thursday, we're going to start. So after the Hall of Fame game, we're going to do a fantasy mock draft.
Nice. So, I'm so pumped for the Hall of Fame game, as I know you are too.
Yes. ProQ, I hate the Rouge.
Oh, you're okay. We got 1 vote for anti-Rouge.
Yes.
1.
Chris says, did you see Chewbacca, aka Caitlin Clark, in Vegas? Which of course brings up my next question: when is Antonio Brown going to officially replace Jacob? That would be an interesting co-host, Antonio Brown. I don't know how well he handicaps football games. It's like Tuesdays are like our opening pick show. I actually have I have a tentative co-host lined up for Tuesdays now. I don't want to officially announce it because I'm not like completely sure if it's going to happen, but I think it will. You guys have heard of him before, so But yeah, I think it'll be a good co-host. I respect him as a handicapper for sure.
Oh wow, a professional.
Yeah, he is. That's what he does professionally. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. You guys might be thinking it's Andy. It's not Andy. But Andy said he would be willing to come on the show on Tuesday as a replacement if this guy couldn't do it.
Okay.
Not every week, but yeah, Andy said he's down to do some episodes during the season, which I can't wait because Andy is he's great, I think. And yeah, I didn't know this. He finished third in the Super Contest one year. I think it was like 90. He said like 91 or 92. But yeah, wow. he finished third in Super Contest, which is impressive.
Wow.
Sue says my favorite CFL rule is after the clock expires, there's one more play.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. That's
that's a real wild card, huh?
I know that's
a real wild card. I love that.
Why not just have like 8 more plays after the clock expires?
No.
Isn't that like soccer? Like the soccer, like it goes past a certain point, it keeps on going. You don't know when it's going to stop.
Oh yeah, the extra time. I kind of never understood that either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But at least soccer starts on time. Jerks of the month.
Jerks of the month. Well, I don't know. I feel like
wow. Imagine being the jerk of the month though. Like that's some stiff competition. That's that's an honor to be stowed though. I mean, you get 12 of those a year. That's it.
That's
big
true.
difference.
I don't know. I mean, I like writing up jerks of the week. It's like I just don't want to do it during the football season. So I want to have the stuff written in advance. So I don't know. It's fine. Chris says, "Oh, he's definitely handicapped AB." That is. I don't know. I love his tweeting. I think he's brilliant. I say this and it's like semi joking, but like I'm not really joking. I think he's having the best post football career since OJ Simpson. No. I'm serious. OJ Simpson was beloved. Like he was in those.
I know. He was. Everyone loved OJ. That's why people were so like they couldn't believe what they heard.
Yeah,
but no, it just sounded funny. It's like the best posts since OJ Simpson.
Seriously, like I feel like what Antonio Brown is doing is like. He's like if Antonio Brown started a podcast, it would be up there with like Alex Jones. No, it wouldn't be like it would be among like the top sports. Like it wouldn't even be a sports podcast, but like a podcast made by like former sports players. I guess like you could say, I guess you could say not Alex Jones. I was thinking, who am I thinking of? But. I can't remember the name, but like he's like a former MMA guy, Joe Rogan. I don't know why that's up my mind. He wouldn't be up there with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a former MMA, but like Antonio Brown, like as a former like football / basketball, like whatever. If you take like the 4 major sports, he would have like the biggest following, I think, because like I feel like everyone would listen to him because like he says out there stuff, but he's right, like. Like he's not willing to call. He's willing to call anyone out, and like I think he's great. I like what he does on Twitter, and so like once he starts, this is like the start of it. Like once he gets something going and gets a show going, he's gonna have so many listeners. It's going to be insane. He's gonna have like a top 10 listened to podcast, I think, in the world.
I mean, I think that would. I think there's a chance that could get old too, though. I mean, I think it would definitely have a lot of viewership for sure because it's going to be controversial, so of course it's going to have a lot of viewership. But I don't know, like I could see that I could maybe see that becoming like a tired act to some people possibly, but I mean it definitely would be popular for sure.
I don't know if he comes with new stuff. It comes up with new stuff every day. Like I think he's brilliant. I'd love to have him on the show, but I think I don't know if he would do it. Sue says, after today's performance, Taylor Penrith is my jerk of the week. Yep. He was at 13 under at one point. He had a 3-stroke lead. We had him at 40-1. And then I want to do this justice. So he's now 10 under. In a 5-hole stretch, he went bogey, par, bogey, double bogey.
Man.
And then he only went birdie once after that. So he's 10 under. He's 6 back. He was 3 up after 6. He was 3 up, and now he's 6 back. So Yeah, we lost the chance of that one. He's 50-1 now, but he's 1% to win. So according to Data Golf, our other guy Sam Burns is 0.6% to win. He's 9 under. I know Kitayama had a chance, but he had a stinky day too. He went only 1 under today. He's 8 under in total. So today couldn't have gone worse. And it started so well because Penrith, I think, entered the day he entered day one up on Neesmith, and then he was 3 up, and then just came crashing down. It's just like crash and burn. It was so bad. At one point, he was plus 125 to win the whole tournament. Now he's 50-1.
Geez.
Yeah. It says, well, what if the new host is actually me, sort of as a Make-A-Wish type of deal?
That's your Make-A-Wish to appear on this show.
Chris, I'll have you on as a co-host sometime if you want. That'd be pretty cool. In fact, you said, I remember you said you would try your hardest to like throw me off at one point, but like I feel like I would be unfazed. So I think it would be an interesting show. Love T says I was a big NFL Europe fan back in the day. Those I remember those old NFL Europe games. He had some talent coming out of there too. It's a shame that came to an end. He might end up like OJ too. Yeah, Antonio Brown. That's exactly. I wouldn't be surprised. Lati says I like that NBA Bust Life pod. Kwame Brown.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that. I've kind of heard some murmur. Just similar to, I don't know if I'm a big Ryan Leaf fan. I watched a lot of his, like, he just has like such an awesome comeback story. Like as soon as people hear Ryan Leaf, they're like, oh, he sucks, like he's the worst. But like it's really cool. Like he became like a drug addict and like completely turned his life around. It's really interesting, and I really have a lot of respect for him. And I think like the Kwame Brown is like a similar. Not that he did the same things that Leaf did. That's not what I'm saying. But like people just kind of regard it like I want to say that there was like Kwame Brown, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like that he said like Michael Jordan made it like really difficult there for him, like when he was on the Wizards. That's who drafted him, right?
Yeah. No, I think the Lakers drafted him. Lakers drafted him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or did he get traded to the Lakers? I know the Lakers are involved at some point. I don't know, but like I've heard of it. I don't have no interest in listening to it though. But like if Antonio Brown announced that he was doing a show, like an hour-long show or whatever, I would be listening almost every day. Maybe there's a chance it wouldn't be good. I'd be shocked if it wasn't good because, like I said, he's willing to call anyone out, and it's like brilliant what he does on Twitter. Like it's incredible. So I don't know. I just like there are very few people on Twitter where I'm like, oh, let me check out his feed. Like Antonio Brown is one of those players. Like I will want to check out his feed. So Chris says, I hope AB ends up more like Jerry Richardson. And then I bring the smut back to the show. Real emphasis on the After Dark title. We're always down for some smut here. Lottie says, in fact, the oldest player to score a point in a pro game was field goal kicker at 53 years old. I don't know who that was. Was it
Janikowski?
No. And the liquor. No, it was
Feagles. Jeff Feagles. He's a punter.
I can't remember his name. Was it? He's on the Raiders, wasn't he? I can't remember his name.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Ryan Leaf is actually a good broadcaster. Ryan Leaf. The Colts are going to draft Ryan Leaf, and then he sabotaged. He sabotaged his way from the Colts because he said he wanted to play in San Diego, and he kind of he stiffed the Colts. Like he didn't show up to an interview or he showed up late. I can't remember what exactly the.
There was something. I can't remember exactly what it was either, but you're right. There was it wasn't going to work out that way. I saw him on a clip on YouTube of him on the Dan Patrick show, and Dan Patrick. I thought this was really cool. I feel like I might have told you this once before. Dan Patrick had a Ryan Leaf Colts jersey. I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh, George Blanda. George Blanda. There we go.
Wait, who was George Blanda?
It's the oldest player to score a point in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Lefty says, did Walt see Portnoy's rant against Kamala? I did not. I'll check it out. I like Dave Portnoy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Dave Portnoy is funny. He used to appear on like Fox Business sometimes, and because he used to have a stream where he would invest into stocks, and like it was kind of ridiculous because he'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy these. I'm gonna buy anything, and it'll go up." he reached into a Scrabble bag and like take out letters and just like buy the stock that came out with the letters. and then they would like not do well, and he's like, "I don't understand what's going on here." But like they would have him on Fox Business sometimes, and I think his final appearance on Fox Business, I think he was being interviewed by Charles Payne. I love Charles Payne. He was like, he said Gary Gensler. Portnoy was like, I don't know who this Gary Gensler is. And Charles Payne's like, he's the chairman of the SEC. Yeah. Like you should, if you're on Fox Business, you should know who Gary Gensler is.
Yeah.
I do love Portnoy. I think he's very, very entertaining. Chris says, I really wish the former wrestler Kamala Rip was the president candidate instead. It would probably be better. Even that probably be better candidate. Chris says, fun fact, his real last name was also Harris. Completely stole his gimmick and name, IMO. Yeah. That's there you go. And then Manfred Mini Bergsmuller. So it wasn't George Bland. I thought it was George Bland. I looked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought it was George Bland. But Bland played 26 seasons in the NFL.
Who was the kicker on the Broncos that had the longest? It was Jason Elam.
Jason Elam. Yeah.
That was in like the 90s. He was on that team with Elway in them, right?
Yep. I had him on my. I think he was the first kicker I had on my fans. No, it was that was the Titans kicker. Al Del Greco was my first.
Oh, Al Del Greco. I loved Al Del Greco.
Yeah, but I certainly had Elam on some of my fantasy rosters for sure.
Al Del Greco was on that Titans team that went to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They lost on the 1 yard line when Mike Jones tackled Dyson. Oh, yep. Dyson.
Yep.
That was a good one.
So before we head out of here, you saw the first episode of season 4. You did not see episode 2, which is the big one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
yeah,
you did see, and I said I was going to bring this up to you. Is the Hound chicken meme, and there was this is like one of the biggest memes. I don't know if you see this. F the king, every effing chicken.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, love it. So there's so many memes from that chicken thing that started. So that was great. It was great to see Arya kill that guy, the Polliver guy who stole her sword, and she got it back. But yeah, it was a good episode. But 402 is one of the most famous episodes. It's a wedding episode, so you're gonna there's always something interesting that happens in a wedding in Game of Thrones. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's all sorts of interesting. Like, dude, Jamie Lannister's haircut sucks.
I don't know.
I thought so in the first scene. He kind of looked like Lloyd. I mean, it looked better later, but like it kind of almost looked like Lloyd Christmas in the first scene.
Oh yeah.
But no, this was interesting. It's so weird seeing like Dario with it being a new actor too. Did they say like before that episode came out? Like, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with this. Like, we're letting the audience, like more eloquently than I'm about to put it, like just like as a courtesy to our audience, we want to inform you that the actor who portrayed so and so is now going to be portrayed by so like, because I think that could be confusing, but they did do a good job of saying his name to him. But despite that, like even I still think they should say that beforehand, because you might be like, wait, did I get confused or something? Was like, why are they calling him Dario? You know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, as Chris says, the Dario actor change worst swap in the series. Yeah, they could put the disclaimer, but I don't think they needed to, because they're like they're clearly like, hey, Dario and Grey Worm are gambling.
Right.
Like, she actually like made it seem like if there wasn't an actor change, maybe she wouldn't have said those names. like there's clearly they
Right.
clearly made it so like the audience would understand. You know, I think it's okay.
They did, but I still think there might be people, you know, that were still like, wait, what? Like, kind of confused because like that didn't seem, you know. So I don't know.
Chris says there were many times the actor changed. There were 3 different mountains. This is true. The most famous mountain you'll see in a duel at the end of season 4, which is great. But like the mountain they eventually settled on, he was like the second strongest man in the world, and they had those strongest man in the world competitions. He finished in second place, and so he was So he like that was the guy. Another actor changed. The kid who played Tommen Baratheon, Joffrey's little brother. He was played by a different actor now. Like you'll see him next episode. He's a different actor. The kid who originally played him in season 1, he was the nephew Lannister who was killed by the Karstarks. Remember Rob Stark killed the Karstarks for killing the nephews they had hostage. It was the same actor. So it's kind of funny that the original Tommen was killed off. Because he was like a nephew Lannister of some sort. So yeah, there are some actor changes, but like that's like the most noticeable one for sure. The Arya one.
Yeah, I love that Tyrion, of course, my other favorite or my favorite character, and then Arya is definitely second. But I love the line like what is it, Oberyn or Oberyn? He's got the dagger through the guy's hand, and Tyrion walks. He's like, I'm here to welcome you to the Capitol. Freaking great, man. He really makes the show.
Oberyn's such a cool character. The Red Viper, he's amazing.
Yeah, like sounds like something's gonna. I mean, you know, in the next episode, it's got to involve him. He's out here on a revenge tour.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, his sister was killed and raped. So
yeah. So, okay. Well, maybe I'll see if I can get this episode sooner rather than later. You said it's the next one is a landmark episode.
Yeah. So the Red Wedding in 309. That was the most famous episode. This is known as the Purple Wedding. So it's a good one. It's a really good one. It's going to pick your brain about something that happens in this episode. It is it changes the series for sure. It's a big episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, who are these guys that are coming? Oh, go ahead.
The mountain actor did win the world's strongest man at least once. Checking this once in 2008. Okay, so that was after he came on the show. So what are you going to say? Who are these?
The guys that look like powder with the veins popping out of their head.
Oh, the Thens, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, is that all going to come to a head at the wedding? Like, they're going after them, right?
The Thens? No, the Thens are up north.
Okay.
Maybe we're talking about different people then.
Okay,
I mean, they're not going to Joffrey and Marjorie's wedding.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, the Thens are going to the wall because remember, Mance Raider is going to attack from the north and they're going to attack from the south. They're trying to do like pincer attack here on the wall. So yeah, I mean that's Mance Raider said he's going to light the biggest fire the north has ever seen.
Oh, okay.
So that is I'll tell you right now that's going to be 409. It's going to be the long night. No, not the long night. The Watchers on the Wall. That's what the episode's called. It's the battle between Mance Raider and the Wall. It's gonna be the whole episode is gonna be that huge battle. So it's gonna be a really good one.
Wow, you really have the episodes down.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do a podcast.
Yeah, that's good.
Chris says, still don't understand exactly why Oberyn wasn't immediately sent to the wall to fight the zombies when he clearly an expert at killing zombies. He could have bought his jetpack there.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Why do they send those crows? Just call them on your cell phone, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, geez. But okay, well, I'll definitely have, obviously, since it's the next episode, to watch for next time. Then I didn't realize it was such a landmark episode.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it, guys. Especially thank you to John Sanders for the 311 and Germ for the 311. So really appreciate it, guys. Yeah, so much. All right. Please like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. Tom, do you have anything to plug? Perhaps your Twitch channel here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead with the Twitch there. I haven't been on there in a little bit, but I'm out here winning Rocket League tournaments and whatnot, and just bantering as usual. So come on by. I haven't been on in a bit, but hopefully I'll be back here pretty soon. So thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll be back on Tuesday. Going to have Eitan Shander from the Odd Shopper Show. I think he's scheduled to come on. Obviously, as he's a fellow father of 2 kids, so you just never know. You never know with those schedules. He's gonna be the co-host. Gonna go over some betting stuff with him because he's from the Odd Shopper. So want to take advantage of that. We're gonna have Wednesday with Kenny, and then Thursday we're gonna do a fantasy draft after the Hall of Fame game. John says, next episode is the top 5 of the series. It's certainly up there for sure. It is. It's unique in that it's not an episode 9. Usually the episode 9s are the big ones, but this season has 402 and 409 as like amazing episodes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. This is a loaded season. I think I've said this before. I think the best episode in the series is the Red Wedding, Reigns of Castamere, 309. But I think overall, this season is the best season of Game of Thrones because there's so many monumental moments that happen. You didn't really see it last episode 401. It's kind of like it's kind of getting you prepped for what's to come. Although at the end, the chicken thing with Arya is great. The rest of the season is going to go super quickly. A lot of stuff's going to happen. It's going to be an exciting one. So I can't wait to rewatch it.
Looking forward to it.
Chris says maybe you could play Iggy's Wrecking Balls. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and have a great weekend.